I'm in search of conversation guests. If you are interested or know someone that might be interested, please contact me directly. Thank you.
That's why I think.
By the way, can you pronounce his son's name?
No, I don't even know.
What's that?
Is there a way to pronounce his son's name? He showed on SNL like this is what his name is, but he didn't pronounce it. He didn't actually announce it on live TV. So I was like, all right, there's a bunch of characters on screen, and then you didn't say it. So
I think that was the punchline. That
yeah,
you can't even say.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know how to say his son's name. So,
well, even if you like read some interviews or articles, like his ex-wife basically gave like some interviews, and I mean, like I said, I guess it's coming in debate whether he's a sociopath or not. But I mean, there's just clear tendencies that shows that he may be a sociopath, and it doesn't necessarily mean though that he's just crazy or batshit crazy or looks stupid. Not at all. I just think, like I said, he just doesn't care. Like he'll release this. I mean, there's other ways that he could have gone about releasing this statement that would have been less impactful in a negative way towards the cryptocurrency market. Sure. I think he doesn't care if he crashes the cryptocurrency market. He doesn't care. That's why he was pushing, Dogecoin. I don't think he cares about other people. I don't think that he wants to move the population of this planet to another to planet Earth, to another planet, necessarily to benefit mankind, but just to prove that he could do it and that he would have more power if we happen to move to a different planet. Who would be the one at the forefront of it all?
Right.
Like, it sounds weird, but it's almost like a movie. Like Elon Musk moves, humans to Mars. Elon Musk rules Mars. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a bit far-fetched, but at the same time, he likes. I think he likes that. I think he likes having that power.
What do you think the possibility of him in the near future? Like, let's say that Tesla makes another big Bitcoin purchase. Could you chalk that up to manipulation of trying to suppress the price so it stays lower than 50,000, so his company could buy a lot more while it was suppressed? Is there I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020, so we never know what the future may bring. But let's say the other end of this thing, in a couple of weeks from now, we look back and they bought another $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, and we see it all at sub $50,000 price, and that purchase drives the price to 60,000. Wow, what a great choice he just made, right? He said, we're going to no longer accept Bitcoin for our company, but now I'm going to suppress the price and buy more of it. Wow. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Which then further if that happened, which would then further support my opinion of him being a sociopath, because it's like that. Right. That means he's not trying to further the cryptocurrency market. He's not trying to
not trying to make the world a better place.
The financial world to progress. Instead, his bottom line is he's suppressing the price of Bitcoin so that his company can buy more. And who benefits from that the most? Who benefits from Tesla purchasing more Bitcoin? Right. Sorry, I cut out.
No, it's all good.
No, Elon Musk.
Same thing I thought of too.
It would only help his bottom line. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I mean, I know it sounds weird to say that after everything I just said, to say that he's a bad guy. I think it's just human nature. I think the saying that absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yep.
It's
it's hard to transition from what you think of your, like your normal life and normal choices that you make, and you don't realize that they have such an influence, and then to turn your brain on is like switch into a whole nother kind of way of operating, because now you have influence over something that you weren't capable of understanding beforehand. Now you have influence over it. Are you supposed to act in the most appropriate way? Are you supposed to act perfectly from now on? No, it's a whole newfound, whole newfound power that you're not sure exactly how far it will go. right? So when you say something or tweet something or get behind something or say about something, you're just like, hey, I like this. I'm letting the world know I like this. That's powerful. I didn't know it was powerful. I just letting the world know I like this. This is my Twitter account. What are you guys talking about? I just moved markets. What? You know what I mean? So I could see if you were not a sociopath and you were trying to get accustomed to this the new concept, it would be some growing pains before you realized how much power you really had. And what you wanted to do with that power. You might make a few mistakes before you really could say, hey, I can harness this in the way I want to shape it. So I feel like he's not such a sophisticated, devious person that is going to be able to shape us in the way that he wants. I think he's still experimenting. I think he's still trying to figure out how much power does his play move markets, and is there a chance for me to move things in a beneficial way rather than just a hurtful way? Because maybe he thinks that, hey, I could do things that were going to help some people. Cool, let me do that.
If he was going to experiment in that way, why not already start out, benevolent? Why not already start out trying to influence the markets in a positive way rather than just trolling people? You know what I mean? I guess I'm going to do some profiling. I wouldn't be surprised if Elon Musk
maybe it's damage control
in school in his past, if he was picked on heavily. I could see Elon Musk as someone that was probably bullied a lot in school and maybe high school.
Okay.
And this is I have nothing to back this up whatsoever.
No,
I have nothing. This is just complete hypothetical. But I'm just profiling his personality. But I wouldn't be surprised that if in school when he was younger, he was picked on a lot. A lot of people criticized him, and now that he's this big, powerful individual, it's like now everything kind of comes to like, oh, okay, now look at me now, right? And this is, like I said, I have nothing to back this up. I don't want you to think that I'm looking. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to profile him as a person, and try to like read his character. Because if you look, he's vastly different than any other CEO that we currently have, or not CEO. Like Bill Gates isn't even a CEO anymore, but as a top 5 billionaire, right? I mean, you look at Zuckerberg, clearly not like that. Does not have the charisma. I think Zuckerberg, it's pretty clear what he wants. He wants power. He wants to control everything, and but he doesn't troll anyone. Like, that's not his thing. I think Zuckerberg is really trying to control everything, and he makes it known. Like, it's quite obvious that's what Zuckerberg wants. You look at Elon Musk. He has this nonchalant way of playing with it, but in the end, it's like he trolls people. He's like, okay, well, I have the power to do this, or I have the power to bring. Who would have thought that Dogecoin would basically be third top coin of the market 2 months ago? Like it was a possibility that it could flip Binance. Like, what the heck, dude? And that was all because of Elon Musk. Now, I'm sure there are other people like Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban started shilling, Dogecoin. Snoop Doggy Dogg, Doge started shilling Dogecoin. But even if you took let's be realistic. If you took Elon Musk out of the equation and it was just Mark Cuban and Snoop Doggy trying to freaking shill, Dogecoin, it wouldn't reach that level. So I don't think I see what you're trying to say. Like, you don't think he's just trying to see how much power he has. But I mean, just based off what he just did in the past 3 weeks, I don't think you need any more evidence. And I don't think an individual like Elon Musk works off of necessarily evidence. I don't think Elon Musk needs validation like that. I don't think he needs anyone to tell him like, oh, you have this much power. I think he knows that. Where I think that he gets validation is just seeing the consequences of his power. I think he sees, okay, I just did this. That makes me feel good as a person. You know what I mean? I had the power to make a meme coin, basically surpass all of these other coins with fundamentals by billions and billions. I'm saying billions of dollars, 10s, 20s, 30s, 40 billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Just at the drop of a dime. A few taps on the keyboard, a few, one skit on SNL. It's kind of amazing how much power he has. And go ahead.
I was going to say, there's one thing that we can all agree on is that he has stolen this podcast
for 45 minutes or more.
Right. Like, Right, like he has taken away from our entire year of trying to develop the fundamentals and understand the space and to talk about the technology and to speculate on what the future may bring and how the future of the space might shape to be different in the future. He has taken that away from us, and now we're talking about a meme coin and SNL and the Doge Father and Wario and all this shit that doesn't matter to the space whatsoever. So if anything, at the bare minimum, he's stolen this argument from our year.
Yeah. I mean, and it's all, I mean, it's not just, I mean, me, I don't have any Bitcoin anyways. I actually was smart enough to make my move from Bitcoin to Ethereum when I was a little bit worried because of the Pi cycle top indicator, which actually, honestly, it might play out, dude, because the Pi cycle top indicator is basically an indicator that predicts the market top for Bitcoin.
Yeah, that was the one indicator that the Bitcoin was was like, man, could be the end of this market based on that. But the rest of the metrics all say it's still going. But that was the one that was like, this is the one indicator that says it could be kind of over. Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily believe in. I think it was reverse engineered in order to fit the cycle tops in the past.
Right.
But it's all about psychology, because if people believe that it's real, that's all that matters. If people believe, so they're going to sell off their Bitcoin. I mean, even me. So in fear that I thought people was going to believe that it's real, essentially, especially when Ethereum started pumping hard and Bitcoin started dropping, I was like, I don't like this. This is scaring me. You know what I mean?
All right, we're Carl's trying to get some more wine.
Sorry. I'm a sommelier and the wine director for a restaurant here in Las Vegas. And so when the juice...
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I might pick your brain about wine, too, on one of these podcasts or conversations.
Yeah, please do so. Please do so. But so when the juice starts flowing, it's hard to have the empty cup. So there was a bottle across the room. Man. Yeah, I was like, I need help. I need help. So
if I had some wine here, I would rock some as well, man.
Sweet, buddy.
But that's
when are you coming back to the States?
I'll be going back. Well, I'm just basically essentially waiting on. First, about a month before I get my certificate, and then I'm going to apply for my.
You do some California jobs there, right? You could do some work there in the. Work there in the Philippines, right?
Philippines, I'm pretty much I'm not working right now, and I won't be working here until I basically go back to the States. So once I get back to the States, again. Okay. But I basically have enough money to kind of
survive,
make it here in the Philippines,
Yep.
So.
Okay.
Hopefully more if this market, just keeps going up. I'm hoping,
Cool. But when you come back, we'll make sure we go out for a nice dinner and we'll have some nice wine.
Yeah, for sure, man. That sounds like an awesome plan, dude.
Cool.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, same.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah.
As long as we invest in Dogecoin, we're going to be fine, right?
Yeah. And a lot of people, and I guess the reason why it's such a heavy topic right now is because Bitcoin literally plummeted from $56,000 to $45,000 in the span of like 30 minutes, and
right.
It was a pretty scary thing, because the truth is that this cryptocurrency market, it kind of runs on Bitcoin. I mean, the cryptocurrency market pretty much runs on the Bitcoin halving. So even though I don't have any Bitcoin, I would like Bitcoin to go up along with the other cryptocurrencies, because it kind of like puts my mind at ease.
Yeah,
kind of like, okay, even though I don't have any Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin drops hard, people sell out of Bitcoin, one of two things could happen. People could move their money into other cryptocurrencies, but that's what happened at the end of the last bull market. But then that only lasted for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then everything came crashing down. I would rather everything kind of like a rising tide raise all boats slowly. Nice. And Bitcoin,
Yeah.
I would like Ethereum to flip Bitcoin, to be honest with you, but I would like it to do so slowly and in a more stable manner, because when things go parabolic, if it happens fast, it doesn't last.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the point of consolidation. Consolidation is good because it allows people that want to sell off and take profits to sell off and take profits, and it allows new investors to come in and buy there. And that's where consolidation occurs. So you have people that are already at that have made this amount of money, and then they sell off, and then people that are just entering the market and they buy in. So that's the purpose of consolidation. And those new people that bought in are willing to see the price of it go up because now they want to profit. They haven't profited any.
Right.
And so that's the point of consolidation. You're basically people that are selling off that have profits, and then people that are just now buying in. Now, of course, people that bought in during this consolidation process won't sell off until it reaches a certain price later in the future. So a nice slow step is what I'm looking at. But when things go up like this, a lot of people all of a sudden are, in the green heavily, and then it goes down like this. And it's a really scary thing. And especially for
when did you
people
first
that are
make your first crypto
market.
purchase?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
When did you make your first crypto purchase?
Actually, no. My very first crypto purchase, if you want to say the very first crypto purchase, was actually back in 2015.
Okay. So when did you become a cryptocurrency investor? When do you think you started to be like, okay,
so
this is
when
a space that I'm...
look into it, was after Liem ban. I talked to Liem, and then he kind of opened my eyes to, everything. Actually, he was the one that explained to me the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin, and that there was a software layer and what exactly that meant and what smart contracts were.
Nice.
And after that, that's when I became an investor.
Okay. Okay.
The first, and that was, what would you say? That was early February, I think. Early February or February. Around there, mid-February. I'm not exactly sure, but it was around there.
Of this year?
Early February. Of this year.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, of this year.
Cool.
So the first time I actually bought cryptocurrency was back in 2015, and because I was here in the Philippines, and that was my way of basically bringing my money from the States to the Philippines. Basically, using Coinbase. I would buy Bitcoins. I would send it over to my wallet here in the Philippines, and then I would cash out in the pesos. So I didn't have to worry about someone withdrawing the money over there and then sending it over, or trying to withdraw using my US ATM card where there's crazy fees. And at that time, man, gas fees were really cheap, actually.
Right.
Now, I mean, to send a Bitcoin, you're looking at like maybe $20 to $30.
Right.
But before, it wasn't anywhere near that. And so when I was buying Bitcoin at the time, it was around $400 per Bitcoin. So at one point, I looked at the history of my wallet here in the Philippines.
Yeah, it was mine. I bought my first Bitcoin at 300. Yeah.
Yeah. It, it sucks because I wish I would have kept it there.
Same.
But so I had 7.3 Bitcoin in my wallet at one point.
Nice.
And I'm like, gosh.
Nice. Yeah, you're like, what the hell am I doing with this magic internet money?
Yeah. Well, so I had a half Bitcoin. What's funny is like when in 2017, it wasn't even paying attention to anymore. I saw basically on the news here in the Philippines that Bitcoin hit, $5,000, $6,000. And I was like, what the heck? So I didn't even know, but I was like, let me check my wallet to see if there's any Bitcoin left in there. And I had about less than a half a Bitcoin left in there, and I cashed it out.
Yeah.
Dude.
$3,000.
Because I was just like thinking, wow, because this was something that I totally forgot about.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm gonna check my wallet, and I was like, oh my gosh, dude, I have almost a half a Bitcoin left. I just forgot about it. I was like, I'm gonna cash it out now. So I cashed it out. Stupid me, because now that would be worth about $25,000 at the current market price. And I was like, it would have been worth $33,000 at the market top.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I just, that's when I first bought cryptocurrency, but I didn't see it as investment. I just saw it as a means to transport my money from the States to the Philippines. Then I started investing this year, and because I'm not working, I was just basically studying for the board exam. It gave me a lot of time to also delve into the technicals and fundamentals of cryptocurrency. And dude, I love it, man. Because the same thing. Before that, I was investing in the stock market, delving into the fundamentals of different companies and seeing, this company has a future. I see that this company has a future, and so the same thing for cryptocurrencies,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. I believe in the space, so I believe in the team behind it. So it seems to make sense. It's probably something that's going to expand in the future. Therefore, it's probably a safe investment.
Where I'm not used to it, because in the stock market, things are a little bit stable. So I'm not going to lie, you kind of have to develop diamond hands here in the cryptocurrency market, because 20% drops, 30% drops, 50% drops. It's normal. Like in the stock market, 50% drops don't necessarily happen, and then everything is okay.
Yeah,
right?
It would trigger the end of the world. Like, hey, it's Black Friday. I'm sorry, guys, sell everything. You're done. Yeah.
If the Nasdaq dropped 50%, like in one day, it would be game over.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that is that is the beginning of the depression, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so, I wasn't used to that. So there were times where I would get like scared, I would be like, oh, what's happening? What's going on? And I did miss out on some profits because I would sell out because I was like, what's going on? What's happening? It wasn't until I was in the space longer that I started to learn. Dude, honestly, even with the dip that happened last week, dude, there was a huge dip in Ethereum. It dropped out. It sucks, dude, because I was actually thinking about I always have a certain amount in stable coins. And I always like to think, and put buy orders, because I was like, okay, well, Ethereum's climbing really hard. So I was like thinking, okay, I'll put a buy. I was thinking the day before, maybe I'll put a buy order at 3,500 in case it happens to flash crash. Because that's easy way to make money really quick because there's a lot of buying pressure at those levels, always at support levels. It dumps down, your orders get filled, and then it automatically rebounds, on a good 5 to 7%. So I mean, and I wouldn't necessarily go on leverage, but if you want to go leverage, let's say you did 10x leverage on that, that's almost like you already automatically make an extra 70% because you can know at those support levels, like even Bitcoin, it dropped to 45 and it automatically rebounded to like 52,000. So that's an easy way to make money, and then I pull that money out and then keep the profits in. So for example, let's say that I put
right.
This is just my strategy, but I was thinking, okay, well maybe I should put it in.
Pull your investment amount and then able to reinvest in as.
And then I don't pull out all of it. I just pull out my stable coin that I put in and then leave the profit in from that.
Right.
So let's say that it rebounded, all of a sudden, instead of just, breaking even, if let's say it goes back to 4,200, you broke even. Now you're in profit because you put your stable coin buy order at 3,500. It rebounds to about 3,900. Then you take up the stable coin, only the amount that you put in, and you keep your profits in, and then you let it rise back to 4,200. Right. So, dips, instead of being scared of dips, I started seeing dips as an opportunity to make more money. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if I knew this was going to happen and I put a buy order, I had a buy order on Bitcoin at $43,000. It sucks. It would have been nice if it dipped down to 43, fulfilled my order, and then bounced back up. But, even there was a flash crash, when I first got into the space in February, where Ethereum flash crashed down to, I think $830. There was a flash crash, and it sucks because I had a buy order at $800. So $30. It would have. There was a wick that reached $830, and then it rebounded instantly to $1,600.
Yeah, I think I bought that dip at $14.55. I remember buying some Ethereum at $14.55 on that. On that dip.
On that dip, bro.
Yeah. There was dip at $14.55. I bought some. Yeah. So it was savage.
I started seeing, rather than being scared of it. I mean, there's the sad thing is that everything comes in cycles. Seasons come in cycles. The day comes in cycles. Markets comes in cycles. Money rotates. There's going to be a time where there's going to be kind of a bear market, but I see that as an opportunity to basically buy more cryptocurrency and then wait until the next Bitcoin halving,
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be as bad as the 2018 bear market where there was a 75% to 80% pullback. But we
were talking about that too. I think we agree on that too. It's not going to be as dramatic.
I don't think it's going to be as dramatic as that, but I'm also
still be pullbacks.
There's going to be pullbacks.
Yeah, still pullbacks. Yeah.
People are going to take profits.
You're going to buy Ethereum at maybe 2,000, 2,500. Buy Bitcoin at 40,000 again. We're going to see these things fall back to these prices, and you're going to go, wow, maybe it'll go back to 30,000 or 20,000, and it won't. So you'll have to, realize that's your moment of opportunity, and be able to go in deeper.
Well, that's why dollar cost averaging is always good. So when I put in buy orders, it's I like to put buy orders at different levels.
Yeah.
So that, hey, it hits when it fills this order. Hey, it hits this one, but it doesn't fill this order. My $43,000 Bitcoin buy order is still just sitting there.
Yeah.
But hey, if it happens to hit $43,000, I know there'll be face melting buying pressure at that level for sure. That I think there's a lot of money to be made at a $43,000 buy order.
Sure. Yeah, if I can get my Bitcoin at 33K, I'll buy it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
But the sad fact is that people that don't have the diamond hands that you kind of like develop being in the cryptocurrency market. People that said, oh, they would buy Bitcoin if it went back down to like $8,000, like, but then when it was there, no one was buying it at $8,000 because the sentiment was very different. This is the end of the world. I mean, COVID-19,
right.
Like it's gonna happen.
Right.
So, you know, it's really easy to say, oh, I'd buy it at this price, but then, you know, once it hits that price point, are you really gonna buy? You know what I mean? So it's not easy. That's the thing with the cryptocurrency market. It's not, a lot of people say, oh, it's easy. You just buy it and you just let it sit there and you just wait. No, it takes a lot of work, not freaking selling at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like,
so Wild West for us too. There's a lot of things that are still undetermined. And if you were to look at the lessons of the Wild West, those who had the most to lose were often the biggest winners. You know, if you put the most risk on the table, you're often going to be the one that benefits the most. So as much as we tried to think about how Dogecoin was a failed opportunity and anybody getting into it was going to lose their shirt, look how much money all these people made because it was what the opposite of what we thought was the beneficial thing to do. And so I'm trying to learn from this year as well. Like, okay, I thought I'd study and do my own research and figure out all the fundamentals and try to figure out the details of why coins rise and all these things. What are all the triggers? What are all the benefits things? And then just out of left field, this crazy sociopath who's into electricity decides to pump some crazy meme coin, and that's all that mattered. That's all that mattered for a short period of time. And it was like, how can I wrap my head around this? I had a tough I had a tough time with it because I was like, hey, this is the space in which the smart people and the nerds are supposed to win, and that the dumbasses and the people that don't care about, you know, like anything except for, oh, this dog is cute, those were the winners. I had a tough time believing in the earth and the world and like feeling that I was, you know, why do I continue to do anything? Why should I get up in the morning, put pants on? Why should I do anything if these assholes are going to be the millionaires? So, you know, it's like the movie Idiocracy became a biography as soon as Elon Musk made a tweet. And I was like, oh my God, all these guys are geniuses and I'm retarded and I understand math. Boy, it was a hard pill to swallow for a minute.
Well, one thing that you can seek solace in is that a lot of these people, the people that are, I mean, it's the truth, even in casinos, dude, there's people that make a lot of money because they're very reckless, right? And you do have to kind of come from somewhat of a source of abundance in order to make money, right? Sure. You kind of have to come in and not care. There's a level of not caring that you have to have in order to make money in any market.
Right.
And these people just don't give a shit at all. And since they literally give two shits, they have the ability to make a lot of money. But where you can seek solace is that these people that kind of like basically ham in or go in recklessly on these coins and make a lot of money, it's not going to end there. And they're going to ham in and go reckless on a lot of coins or a lot of investments. And then in the end, they're probably going to end up losing a lot of money. So there's a lot of people that make like millions of dollars and they kind of continue. Like I was watching this one YouTube channel actually where they were, this guy's name was, I think his name was Godcoin. It says alias. And on like AMC, he literally made off of calls, he made like over $1 million, right? He made over $1 million in calls, but then call options. But then when they asked him, okay, so where are you at now? He's like, I'm up maybe like $8,000. So like those people that make a lot of money doing reckless things like that, it doesn't stop there. Once they make a lot of money there, they continue doing that. And I hate to say it, like the longer you keep playing like that. So that's the point of what we do, where we try to analyze things. We try to look at technicals. We try to look at fundamentals, is to not necessarily maximize profits. We want to maximize profits, but at the same time, we want to be safe. That's we want to make sure that we keep our money, we know what I mean? So even though our money doesn't go up like people that basically put $20,000 into Shiba Inu like last week, or that put $20,000 into Dogecoin, it also won't go down at that same rate, because we're like making sure that we put it we're making safe bets. We're okay, here's what we're going to do. This coin looks good. I mean, but everything in the market is speculation at this point. Like even Cardano, it's not even a smart contract platform.
Right.
People are buying Cardano because of what it can be in the future.
Right.
People are buying Polkadot because what it can be in the future.
That's why I'm buying Harmony.
Exactly.
I'm a big Harmony 1 investor. Yeah, I'm a big Harmony 1 investor.
I have Harmony 1 as well. My biggest, it's not even a small cap anymore. It's crazy. But my biggest, I guess you could say it's a big cap now, is actually Solana now.
Oh, yeah.
Because I bought
fantastic. It went from 14 to 45 in, a couple months. Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's doing great. Yeah.
I was like, it's coming up there because of just how much. And I don't think it's, see, that's what I'm saying. If you look at fundamentals, right? I mean, I hate to say it, but things like Harmony 1 and Solana, they're more complete, especially it's a more complete project than Cardano, than Polkadot right now.
Yeah.
If you're looking at pure fundamentals, and Solana is still in beta.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, why is Solana only at a $11 billion, $12 billion market cap? It's because of the adoption as well. People are speculating, okay, well, this is what Cardano will be in
There's
the future.
Not much I can do with it. It's not really usable. If I buy them and I have the coins, okay, cool, but not much I can do with it yet. But there will be.
Yeah,
there will be. Yeah.
There will be, for sure. I'm a huge, it's the same thing where I'm kind of caught in. Like, I appreciate Charles Hoskinson for who he is as a person. I think
for sure.
Absolutely brilliant. But there's some things that I disagree with. Honestly, that's one thing, and that's one thing I like about Polkadot. Because while I like that people kind of have their own tribes and like their coins, I hate that it gets to a point where we pit so much against each other. Like there's Ethereum guys that are against Cardano guys that are against Ethereum. Like, you know what I mean? Bitcoin maxis that are totally against Ethereum. Bitcoin maxis against, and that's why I like Polkadot, because of their parachains. What Polkadot is trying to achieve is basically inter-blockchain transactions, and basically what they're trying to do is, rather than trying to create a blockchain that rivals all other blockchains, they're trying to be the one. Like, let's say that this blockchain is going this way, this blockchain is going this way. Polkadot wants to be the one going this way. They want to be the one to connect all the blockchains. And that's why I'm a huge proponent of Polkadot, because they're not trying to be the blockchain that's going to conquer all, but rather they want to be the blockchain that connects all the different blockchains, in which case they could be, you know what I mean? So that's why I kind of like Polkadot. And that's why, if you notice, there's not a lot of tribalism necessarily with Polkadot. There's not a lot of people that are like, oh, Polkadot, down with Ethereum. Oh, darn, you know what I mean? People that are kind of just into Polkadot. So that's also one of the fundamentals of why I like Polkadot. But yeah, I mean, I like the tribalism, but I think sometimes it goes too far. Why not own Ethereum? Why not own Cardano? Why not own Harmony 1? Why not own Solana?
Sure. Well, a lot of smart investors know to diversify. So if you're going to invest in the space, you should have some foot in a lot of camps, just in case there's one racehorse that wins and the rest of them fall behind.
Absolutely. I don't think there will just be one blockchain. There might be a dominant blockchain. But I don't think there'll be one blockchain.
I think the playability between each other will be extremely important, and it's the accessibility for the common user to be able to trade their assets easily, in which to acquire other assets they need to I would say, like, accomplish their goals. And if they can do that simply, efficiently, and just really quickly and easily, that's going to be a really major adopter. That's going to bring a lot of people who don't feel comfortable changing the channel on their sophisticated, like their TV remote. They're going to finally be able to be like, okay, now I understand this enough, because I can press button 1, button 2, button 3, and all of a sudden I have 3,000 of these, and that's cool because it just went up in value, and that's great. So it's like, for us, it's still really the wild west of all this, right? We're still having failed transactions. We're still having high gas fees. We're still having things that are like, doesn't make sense, but we're doing them anyways. There's a lot of mistakes that we're making. And I think that's great for us as pioneers to get into the space, but we're still such early adopters that's how I still feel I'm so excited that I'm still so early to the space, and I don't have to feel like I'm late to the party, because I feel how difficult these things are for average people to be able to say, well, I don't understand that. I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. Cool. Well, if you and I are willing to go a little bit further than what those people are not, then there are opportunities for you and I to make millions that they're not willing to go down. And so that's what I want to do, is be like, hey, I can buy this at a coin. I can buy this coin, that coin, this coin, because you're not willing to learn about the space because it's a little too sophisticated for you. I'm sorry. I can watch a YouTube video. I can read an article, and then I can go down this road and I can acquire some of these coins that you're not willing to acquire. And because I did that extra step way back in 2021, I'm now set up for success. All right. It's still super early, and that's why I'm so bullish about this space, because it's really not accessible for the average person who doesn't understand anything, and it will get to the point where things are, hey, the average person who doesn't know their ass from their elbow can trade cryptocurrency. That's when we finally have the complete adoption, and those of us who are established in the space are going to benefit 10 times plus.
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on with that. Actually, that's what I was actually saying. So the one of the major hurdles right now is accessibility. I mean, it's slowly getting easier. Like now, all of a sudden, Venmo and PayPal. But I wish that you could actually own the cryptocurrency and have an actual wallet. Robinhood, but they still are lacking. There's so many different other cryptocurrencies out there that aren't even in those markets yet. So I totally.
Yeah, as much as Robinhood is a negative thing for our space, it is doing the appropriate thing right now for make people go, if I have it bad there, and when I have it over here that I can have it better, that's a better way. Oh my God, I have it better than what I learned before. That means I'm making progress. That means I'm doing better. That means I'm ready to go further. That means I'm ready to learn more, right? Like, it's like you pat yourself on the back because you finally had done the right thing. Like you struggle with something, and then when you finally accomplish it, you feel so much better about what you accomplished. And with crypto, it rewards you. And so you're like, oh man, I went down further than the other person wasn't willing to go. I earned more and made a better situation for myself. Now I understand more. I'm way ahead of others, and I've got a better portfolio. Oh, this is great. I love crypto. I love it. I'm going to go further. Right? And each person on the stage of their journey as they adopt it will do that exact same path, right? It's scalable, whether it's small or large, but they're still going to be like, I don't know, baby steps, I don't know. And then, oh my God, this is easier than I thought it was. Oh my God, look how much money I made. Oh my God, look at that. I just paid off my house. Look at that. Oh my God, I'm set. Wow. You know what I mean? It snowballs real quickly. And as long as you have some success and some things that are going in a positive direction, you're bullish on the space and you want to further go down it. And as long as there's enough reasons for that to happen and not enough of the Elon Musk reasons of, hey, you're going to lose your shirt because you invested in a shit coin, as long as there are enough reasons to get into space for a positive reason, this space is going to be the future. It's the best. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, it's funny too, because like with my fiance, it's like I talk crypto and she's just so bored out of her mind, and I'm like, that's why I talked to them. I was like, dude, I need a conversation, because it's like sometimes I internalize something. Like, she's invested in Polkadot because she likes the color and the logo, and that it's called Polkadot.
In Polkadot?
Not in Polkadot.
Okay.
She's an engine and she's in one, and they both have gone down recently, so she's mad at me. But she's trying to give me the benefit of the doubt as I explore a new space. But I'm telling her in the long run, she'll thank me.
You have to look at the long
thank me big time. Yeah, exactly. Like in the long run, you're gonna thank me in the long run. Just hold on. Just wait. Wait. And we've had a recent thing where like our Jeep broke down, so we got to get a new engine. So she needs like $9,000 or $10,000, which is a lot of money. And so she was like, well, can I take my crypto out now and put it towards that? And I'm like, no,
No,
No.
you don't sell at the bottom.
You don't. You wait
don't
for
buy
that.
high,
You
sell low.
wait. Please wait. Please wait. You're gonna be so sorry if you take that money out. Just put it. Find it somewhere else. We'll figure out how to pay for it, and just trust me. Trust me. So she's going out on a limb. I hope it works out, because otherwise I'm gonna sleep in a doghouse. But she's like, all right, I trust you. All right, I believe you. I'm like, just trust me. And I don't know how I believe, but there's a part of me that just knows. I just knows this space is super bullish. Everything is we're all super early adopters. This is all going to be a huge part of our lives in the future. And the fact that we're talking about it at the level of sophistication we're talking about it today shows that we are legions away from all the other people who are going to get in a year, 2 years, 5 years from now going, I never heard about crypto. Can you explain it to me? And we can go on a 3-hour discussion without missing a beat and can just talk for a length. So we're so far ahead of the game, and I try to remember that self whenever there's a big dip, and I'm like, oh, I wanted this to go up, and I'm blah blah blah. I had this vision of I would be at this value in my portfolio, and I hope it was going to go up. Have patience, because in the long run, you have invented gold before gold was even known to be existed. We are so early into this space. We are so early, even though it came around for a long time and everyone knows about it. We are so early, and just important to let yourself off the hook. That if you're like, oh no, I'm supposed to make this amount of money in this amount of time, get rid of that. You're so early. You're brilliant. You're a genius. Thanks for showing up. You're already way ahead of everybody who can't even program their TV remote. It's like.
I think the part you're saying about patience is a huge thing.
It's huge.
This space where
it's huge,
where these spikes, dips, and pumps happen, and human nature. I think probably I don't know the number. I'm guessing somewhere around 60 people I have told about crypto, and since 2015, 2016, I told about maybe 60 people that bought in, and 58 has sold out.
Right.
There's only 2 people that has held, and the 2 people that held, they're really happy.
Of course.
And I've told all 60 people, buy and hodl.
Hodl.
Yeah.
58 of them. I don't know if that's the exact number, but I only have 2 people that have held. And now on top of that, they're one of them is he has a decent amount where I think it's touching potential retirement, but he's still holding to make sure it's actual retirement.
Right.
And I think that's a huge thing, because human nature, everybody else, all the 58 people, I mean, they made a couple $100. Like, yeah, I'm selling out. They made, $900. Yeah, I made some money. I'm selling out. Or somebody made $2,000. That's
a really interesting point. Because we all think in the terms of dollars, and the dollars that we need in which to retire in our paradigm, right? In the world that we live in. Yeah. How many dollars would you need in which to earn annually so you can feel safe retiring and not having to work anymore? But I think within this decade, we're going to have to start to transition to the concept of thinking about money in Satoshis. How much is that Satoshi worth? And then how much do I need to earn in which to no longer work because I earn so many Satoshis each month or each year? And even if you're not there yet either, let's say a step further, if you have to earn so many dollars in which to retire, what is that magic number for you? And then, okay, let's say that your crypto portfolio, it matures to $30 million. Let's just say that's a magic number, 30 million. Will you go ahead and cash out $30 million in crypto to now have $30 million in dollars? Or will you say, hey, I'm going to hold my $29 million in crypto and cash out $1 million and be able to trade my fiat easily? Sure. But what's the amount of profit? Do you totally liquidate and become all fiat? Or are you now thinking that you're still bullish on the space? And now you're like, all right, I got my 30 million. I'm safe being able to take profits of, let's say, 1 million for these couple of years. And now you got 1 million that you've taken out, but you still have a $29 million value that may drop to, to $10 million in 2 years from now during the bear market. And so you might kick yourself going, hey, I lost out on so much because I didn't sell and then rebuy in at the bear. But you still have what is going to accumulate back on the next bull to be $50 million or even more, right? So it really begs the question as we started moving to different currency assets about how you juggle how much of which coin you have in your portfolio that manages the quality of life that you're trying to endure.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
and
okay.
I think that number is different for everyone.
One thing though, I will say, and I know like some crypto guys kind of give me crap for it, but I do always hold stable coins. And they're always like, well, why not just put it all on, Bitcoin or something? And because there's a lot of people that they just trade and they only trade Bitcoin pairs or Ethereum pairs, which means that everything else, every other altcoin is shit to them. They're just only riding those waves so that they get more Ethereum, or they ride those waves so they can get more Bitcoin, or they ride the Ethereum wave so that they can put their profits back into Bitcoin so they can have more Satoshis, right?
Right.
But the thing is that the truth is that out of all the currencies, fiat currencies are still stable compared to, that's why they're called stable coins, compared to other cryptocurrency assets. Now the DXY did drop about 0.5%, which is pretty bad. I mean, the dollar is dropping. That's the truth, but it's not dropping, 10%, 20%, 15%, 10%. You know what I mean?
True.
And it does.
Doesn't match the volatility of some crypto markets can be.
Yeah. Well, and it has that stability. So that's why. Okay, for example, if I didn't have that, money in stablecoin to put at buy orders when Bitcoin would dump or Ethereum would dump, and then it would rebound, and then I would take out my stablecoin. I have essentially more Ethereum because I put those buy orders, and you know what I mean? But if I just put it all into Ethereum, it would have gone down and it would have gone back up. I think I have, because of the stability of the dollar. I know it's almost ironic to say that, the stability of the dollar, but there is a stability there that exists that doesn't exist in other cryptocurrency and native cryptocurrency assets.
I was going to ask, do you think that you're capable to write down those instructions of what you do in such an email so that you can send it to Liem and to be able to say, this is your school of thought, but in a written word, so that when you see that this rises to X that you sell and you can rebuy at Y, what is your thought process in there that you can put down in words so that someone else could follow that same kind of rubric if they wanted to?
I guess so. I could. I mean, essentially, I guess basically what I do is, so I have a certain amount of stable coins. It depends on every other person, right?
Yeah.
But I have a certain amount of stable coins that essentially I look at prior support levels, because of how volatile the market is. Yeah. There are going to be flash crashes, and there are going to be whales that are liquidating these people that are leverage trading, that are longing at like 20x, right? 10x leverage. So essentially, that's basically what some of these whales do. Is what they do is they come to these exchanges with thousands of Bitcoins, and then they place a short with leverage, and then they dump their coin, and it causes all these people that are leveraging to basically get liquidated. And then what they do is that they made money on the short, and then they buy in at that level and buy back. So they end up with twice the amount of Bitcoin when they walk away. And that's why if you look at the if you take a look at like whale alert, you'll see, for example, before flash crashes, it'll be like 2,000 Bitcoin transferred into Gemini, 4,000 Bitcoin transferred from Gemini after the flash crash, because these whales are essentially taking advantage of these people that are like longing on leverage. That's why I
follow those whale alerts on Twitter. So,
the whale alerts.
Exactly, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So, essentially, that's why I put, whenever I feel like it goes parabolic, like with Ethereum. That's why I was already thinking the day before, maybe I should put in a buy order at 3,500, because a lot of it is people investing, but then a lot of it is also FOMO. So what happens is, let's say that a whale is buying Ethereum.
Hi, Jeff.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Jeff. Had some technical
sorry, the internet sucks.
There he is.
So I guess what I was saying was, so essentially, okay, let's say this whale is buying Ethereum and it's like going up. So FOMO is real. So that's when other people, let's say it breaks a level of resistance, other people start to long it, but they long it with leverage, which means essentially they're buying more Ethereum than they actually have to, but they basically leverage trade it. And so it causes it to continue going up. So it's like a compound, right? So it's like, boom. So, okay, let's say whale buys, and you see people, then human nature, people are like, okay, it's going up. It broke a level of resistance. So I'm going to leverage in, right? So it gets to a point where the market is over leveraged. When the market is over leveraged, that means a lot of people own Ethereum that they don't necessarily have because they're basically leverage trading. So their goal is to basically close out the position, take profits, because essentially they could take like 1,000. Actually, a lot of them do it in the native asset. So let's say that you have $1,000 in Ethereum, you can actually leverage that. You can 2x that or 3x that, which essentially would be more because you own Ethereum, and if Ethereum is going up, that Ethereum is going up, and then you're also leverage trading, so that is going up. So what happened is these people are basically buying Ethereum that they don't necessarily have the money for, and that's when things get that's when it gets over leveraged, right? So when it was already at 4,200, I was like, uh-oh. I was like, okay, this isn't just one whale. I said, this is people FOMOing in. This is people longing. So I was already expecting a huge pullback. So at that point, I look at prior resistance levels, 3,500. And then I was like, okay, maybe I should put in a buy order at 3,500. And then if it happens to dump there, then all of a sudden your order would be filled. And usually that's what a lot of people do. That's why if you look at flash crashes, it flashes down quick, but then it wicks back up immediately because so many people put buy orders at prior resistance levels, expecting it to hit those levels so that they can basically ride the wave back up instantly.
Right,
and
that's the buying
with 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, it wicked back up to 3,900. And at that point, you can already take out your stable coin that you put in at that buy order, and then you have more Ethereum at that level. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. So what I'm doing. So it's very interesting. Just like what happens with flash crashes to begin with. So what happens is that I was doing a lot of research. So what happens is basically these whales dump, and the reason why it dumps, so they don't dump enough to dump dump Ethereum to say 3,300, but they dump it just enough to liquidate people that are longing on leverage. And when those get liquidated, it basically causes it goes down again because they're selling Ethereum, and then it causes more people to get liquidated, and it goes down. So it's basically the exact opposite of a short squeeze. It's like I guess you could say, you know what I mean? It's a long squeeze, I guess you can say. So the reason why it wicks down, why we have these huge flash crashes, is because so many people are longing on leverage. If we didn't have people longing at 20x leverage, we wouldn't have these 15%, 20% pullbacks, because the whale might drop this amount of money, and maybe it might drop it 4 to 5%. But what happens is that 4 to 5% then liquidates people, and then it liquidates more people, and then it liquidates more people, and becomes a domino effect. And that's why we end up with 8% freaking flash crashes. You know what I mean? And then the same whale that basically dumped this, that started the domino effect, is waiting on the other end with stable coins to buy at a lower price. So it's like, that's why these guys will enter an exchange with, like, say 2,000 Bitcoin, and then they'll exit the exchange with 4,000 Bitcoin, and then and store it in a wallet, because they're basically manipulating these people that are basically longing on leverage. Wow. So I think the reason why we kind of have these crazy flash crashes is because so many people do leverage trade, and I get it. A leverage trading is part of, it's a part of the market. I'm not saying eliminate it, but I wish that people would be a little bit more diligent and a little bit more cautious in longing. Like, okay, when you're longing at 20x, come on, dude, longing at 50x leverage, are you freaking nuts?
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Yeah, that's wild.
So that's my. Now, I'm not saying you could leverage trade. I don't know if you guys do it or not, but I'm just saying that if people leverage trade, that they should be more cautious. And maybe the max I would ever leverage trade is at 5x, because your liquidation level at that point, I don't think it'll drop like 40%. You never know, but so
I love hearing your.
I just basically described to you what I do. I essentially just. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that I love your approach and your perspective to what you do. because from learning from what I do and what Lem does, it seems like more that we're more term like long-term hodlers. That we like to invest in the space that we think is going to be something that's beneficial over the long term, and we try to hold our value to get way more of it. And for like to hear your approach and how your experiences kind of shaped you, it seems like it's a more aggressive approach to what we're trying to accomplish, but we're just trying to take in the slow road that's more secure versus the more aggressive approach that can definitely help you double and triple your money if you're willing to kind of like to trade those swings. And I've heard so many times where people have made the mistake trying to swing trade and to buy the like to sell the top and to buy the dip, and that the coin just continues to rise and they have to buy in higher than they did, and so they end up kind of averaging out over the course of their trades that they really would have just been more beneficial if they just held over a long period of time. So I think everyone is different, and it's really the question of what your goals are and what you're trying to achieve and what kind of return you want within the time frame that you're looking at. And then you can make more aggressive choices if you need to, and you can be more safe if you don't need to. So I think it's a really interesting dynamic that you have made your approach more aggressive. And I love to hear what you have to say.
Well, I have a huddle back, I guess you could say. Sure.
But it sounds like what really excites you, really gets you fired up, is that you're looking for these moments where you're like, I'm going to double up, I'm going to triple up, I'm going to quadruple up, and I'm going to definitely swing it, which is fantastic. I love that you're willing to make that kind of approach. But for me, I'm still learning about the space. I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't even have that many monitors to be able to measure charts at the same time. So for me, I'm still like I'm just gonna hodl. I'm just gonna kind of watch this space. But I love what you're doing. I love how sophisticated you are in your speech and your understanding of the space. And you've really got a really strong leg up in what you're trying to achieve, and I applaud you for that, because it is impressive what you've been able to accomplish, even if you haven't done the trades in physicality. But your understanding of the moves and like what happens is a really sophisticated way to explain it. And so,
well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm very impressed the way that you explained how your approach is and what you think about it. It's a very sophisticated way, even if you're trying to kind of
a trader. I don't want to say that like I'm necessarily like a trader, because
we're all learning. Everyone's learning all the time. So
I don't ever buy any cryptocurrency that I don't believe in. You have to have a level of conviction that
Perfect.
What I mean. So for example, so I have this amount of money that I'm willing to invest in crypto, but then I also have this amount of extra money in stable coins that's stable at any time, and then I can always withdraw.
Right.
But at given times when I happen to see something go parabolic,
right,
I see an opportunity to make more, for example, Ethereum, or make more Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what I'll do is, so if I have this stable coin and I go, oh, well, I don't need to withdraw this, I don't need to use it. What I could do is just I could put it at a buy order at a very low level of resistance. So it's pretty safe there because I'm not buying in now. But I'm saying
if you do get to buy there, holy crap. Yeah.
Yeah. If it happens to drop down, then it usually, because of people that do the same thing as me, there's a huge amount of buying pressures. Because what we don't realize is that there's a lot of people that put buy orders at various levels of resistance. Not hoping, but kind of like, well, if it happens to crash or go down, they'll buy at that price. So what happens is all these people have it at levels of support. Oh, go ahead. Oh, no, I was just gonna say they have it at so I always choose levels of support because everyone else is buying in at that time. So that's why if you notice, it wicks down and then it wicks back up really quick.
Right.
So for example, like it wicked back up today about 7%. I mean, I didn't foresee this happening because Bitcoin wasn't necessarily parabolic in any way. So I didn't see Elon Musk tweeting something like this.
Right.
But if I did, I would have probably, if I saw it parabolic or I knew he was going to do something like that, I would put a buy order at 45. My buy order at 43 is still just sitting there. But if it would have wicked down and hit 43 and it would have came up to 50, 52, then of course what I would have done is basically take out that stable coin that I want to keep as stable coin anyways, then kept in the additional Bitcoin that I just made in that 4 or 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So I'm not necessarily a trader, because here's the thing is, if it happens to buy at that price and it doesn't happen to wick back up, I'm confident, and that's why I don't do that on coins that I'm not confident and I don't have that conviction.
Sure.
In which case I know that if I wait long enough, it will go back anyways. So worst case scenario, I ended up buying more Bitcoin at a really good price, and I just hodl it. So there's no downside, because if it happens to hit that price point and then for some reason that buying pressure isn't there, which usually 90% of the time it is, but it happens, let's say it wicks down to 43,000 and it just doesn't wick back up, I'm not SOL, because I'm like, okay, well, I just bought Bitcoin at a really good price and I could just hodl it. Even if I have to hold it for a few years, it is what it is. So and that's why I only do it on, now traders are different. People, I guess you could say I'm like a hybrid trader, I guess you could say.
It sounds like you're a bit of a hybrid trader, and as much as you don't want to admit that you are, you're talking about all the terms in which traders use. So if you could, for our users, could you at least explain how you come to your thoughts of building channels of resistance and support, right? Like, how do you draw your channels?
Okay, so there's two. People use this called the Fibonacci. Fibonacci retracement. So there's Fibonacci levels, right? And Fibonacci is based on this formula that exists naturally. It exists in nature, in flowers, in art. It's just something that we just happen to revolve around this formula. You can go ahead. So basically, there's these different levels.
It's in like rocks and seashells, and there's all kinds of natural things that happen to be this pattern that exists. And somehow the markets also perform in a similar way. It's like human nature falls in with nature itself, and so there's this patterns that happens that is not just ourselves, but also the same patterns in nature.
And so Fibonacci is just simply you start with the 1, you add it up, and you add itself. 1 plus 1 is 2, and then you take
prime numbers, right?
I think prime numbers? No, I think it just adds.
Yeah, it's 1, 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 plus 8 is I guess it's 21, and 21 plus 13, so on and so forth.
Exactly.
So,
yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
that's right. I didn't know it was the prime numbers. I didn't realize that you consider that adding.
Yeah, they're not divisible by 2 numbers themselves, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, by 2.
Yeah. And then they're all prime numbers.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, basically, those levels are dictated loosely on the Fibonacci the Fibonacci pattern. Okay, and then you have psychological levels.
Right.
Okay. For example, $3,000, $3,500. We as human beings, we also like to see nice round numbers, which means that people take profits at those levels. They're like, okay, I will sell off my Ethereum at $3,500.
Right.
So what happens is that $3,500, that's resistance. So it has to break through that. But once you break through that level of resistance, 3,500 is no longer resistance, and then it becomes support, which means that people.
It's a theoretical line of support and resistance rather than a pattern line of resistance. You're as a theoretical saying that if I understand that a human being is like round numbers, and if those who are previously invested, they're going to now take profits at 4,000 and 4,500 and 5,000 and so on and so forth. Right. That's a level that I can kind of assume, or at least a pattern that I've been able to recognize that when it gets to that next level. And so you're saying on the one hand, you have the Fibonacci that you're going to also say people are going to take lines of support at those different layers, but there's also a secondary one that's almost as powerful or even right. But it even if you combine it with the first one, that's like a double layer of power, right? So if you've got one that happens to coincide at the $4,500 range, and it's $4,500 for the psychological one, it's a pretty safe bet that that's going to be a tough wall to break if it's a Fibonacci and like a societal one as well.
Level.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So when you have the
absolutely.
two to combine, you're like, okay, cool. This is going to be a tough thing to get through, but if we break it, woof, the moon. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason behind that, though. Okay. So a lot of people see that, but they don't understand the underlying reason behind it. They just see it. Okay, that's a support, that's resistance, that's a support, that's resistance. But what happens is basically a lot of people take profit at, let's say $3,000, take profit at $3,000. So that's why it keeps wicking down, right? That's why it's resistance. But then people are like, I'm willing to buy in at this level. So these people are buying in at that level. So that's why. So they're like, okay, well, I'm selling at 3,000. Another one's like, I'm buying there. So they're buying at 3,000. So then what happens is once we break that level, there's no selling pressure at 3,000 anymore, and everyone that came in at that point isn't looking to sell 3,200 or 3,300. You know,
right.
they just bought
3,500.
in. So they want to see a
investment. Maybe 4,000. Yeah.
That's why they become exactly. So that's why they're in it for the long haul. So the people that basically they got shook out at 3,000, or I don't necessarily want to say shook out, but basically they sold out. They're like, okay, I'm okay with taking profit on Ethereum at $1,000. So they sell at 3,000. That's why it's a level of resistance, and that's why it keeps seeing. For the longest time, 2,000 was that level, man, for Ethereum. Oh my gosh, dude, I thought it was a stable coin at $1,900, dude. But there were just so many people that were like taking profits there. But guess what? Once we broke through that level, which 2000 was a psychological level. I don't think it was a Fibonacci, because I don't think it was a Fibonacci level. Once we broke through 2000, dude, we went to 2200, 2300, 2400, went back down, but then there was a crash, then went back to 2200, then 2500, then 2700, because a lot of people bought in at essentially 1900 to 2000. That was where the consolidation was going, and those people aren't looking to take profits for a while. But all the people that are looking to take profits at 2000 basically sold off and basically sold their Ethereum to people that are willing to go longer on Ethereum. And then of course you always have the hodlers, you know. So the hodlers are different, because the hodlers are like, I don't even give a fuck about these resistance support level. I know I have so much conviction in Ethereum that I know this is how much Ethereum is worth to me. It's worth $20,000, and I will not sell until it hits $20,000, and I know it'll hit $20,000. So you have the hodlers,
right?
Okay, so I guess you could say is I'm kind of a hybrid of both, because I understand the way, the way the markets kind of work. And my goal, essentially, is to get more Ethereum, or get more, Cardano, or to get more, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So like all the blue chips. Yeah.
I'm not, I don't want to sell off now. So that's the thing, is some people, what they do is they'll use, for example, like the stochastic RSI. And so, which I think I like the stochastic RSI. If you guys have TradingView, it's a free program, free app, and all of these indicators are free. But some people, like, for example, if you're going to dollar cost average in, especially in a bull market, the best time to do it, a lot of people will just buy in when it's red, which is very qualitative. But if you want to be quantitative about it, you can use the stochastic stochastic RSI oscillator and wait until it's at the bottom, because people buy at the bottom of the stochastic RSI. So anytime you see a bottom, whether it's on the 4 hour, 8 hour, or 1 day, that's a good time to dollar cost average in. And if you see it at the top of the stochastic RSI, not a good time to dollar cost average in. So it's like, even if you're planning on hodling it, it's a little bit more profit that you would have made if you just happened to wait until it was at the bottom of the stochastic RSI. You know what I'm saying? So that's how usually if I dollar cost average in, I just use the stochastic RSI as a means to determine what my entry points are, rather than to just buy every day at a certain time, or buy when it's just in the red, which you could. That's another strategy. You could just buy when it's in the red, which I said is very qualitative. But if you want to be quantitative about it, the reason why you want to buy at the bottom of the stochastic RSI is because usually that's where the bounce is. That's usually where people buy in at the bottom of the stochastic RSI, and therefore, if you bought in at that level, it's already going to be going up. Rather than if you just buy it now, let's say it's red. What if it goes more red? You know what I mean? What if it goes 4% down or 5% down? So the stochastic RSI is just a tool to allow you for good entry in, like, for example, dollar cost averaging. So even if you're dollar cost averaging, you can utilize these tools as a means to kind of hedge, or not hedge, take that back, to kind of gain advantage, a slight advantage, which maybe might not be a big difference to you or other people. But for me, it's like, why not? If you can get that edge, why not? Use that.
Right.
So, but then some people also use those oscillators as a means. What they'll do is they'll buy at the bottom of the stochastic RSI, and then they'll sell at the top of the stochastic RSI. So the RSI, I know you guys, if you guys know what the RSI is, but basically, if it's over 70%, it's overbought, and if it's under 30%,
it's a relative strength index.
Yeah, exactly, relative strength index. Yeah. So it's oversold. So usually I like to buy in the oversold territory. And like I said,
30%,
when I'm dollar cost averaging, I don't sell in the overbought territory anyways, because I'm hodling anyways. But I just use that as cool. So there's all these cool indicators. Even the Pi cycle top indicator was free on on TradingView, and you could just like look at all of these things. And there's, I don't know. For me, it's also kind of interesting and fun. But yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you could say like I'm a hybrid trader investor, but it's not. I'm not. So traders, essentially, their bottom line. That's all they really care about is basically going into a coin. They don't care about the coin itself, whether it's Shiba Inu or if it's Doge or whatever. They're just going in so that they can sell off and make more money at the end.
Right.
Well, for me, everything that I am buying into, I really believe in, and I think will go up like
right.
100-fold. You know what I like?
Yeah, just want to make sure you have a good entry point so that you lose fundamentals of the daily cost averaging thing to make sure you have a good entry, but then to make sure that you also have a good exit when you're trying to find that place that you're like, okay, this is a good spot to actually take, be able to take profits. Do you think that's beneficial for you to take profits in each leg up? Is there something you try to do that if you're going to try to write a project that you are a long-term holder in, and you realize, all right, this is kind of mooning, I'm going to be able to take some profits, maybe 10% every kind of increment, and then so you have fuel to buy the dip when it eventually comes back and consolidates again? Do you have some fuel that you would like to re-enter?
Yes, correct. That's exactly. That's exactly what I like to do. Basically, I like to take profits so that I have powder. If it happens to wick down, then I can buy in at a lower level. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's always good to just like I think it's good to dollar cost average in. It's good to dollar cost average out as well. I don't think you should sell everything off at one time. I think everything should be. This is what dollar cost averaging does. Is it basically inhibit or it negates the effect of volatility. So that's basically what you're doing. Well, at the exchange of making the most amount of money. Like, for example, the way I like to use the analogy of dollar cost averaging, for example, if you go to blackjack table, right, of course, you're going to make the most amount of profits if you put, $1,000 on your first hand and then write it to the second hand, which let's say you won that, then it'd be 2,000, and then you won it again, it'd be, 4,000, and you won it again, it'd be 8,000, which essentially is kind of like the Fibonacci pattern. But I mean, you know what I mean? Obviously, you're going to get maximum profits if you just do that. But if you dollar cost average in, for example, if you put, $300 here, and then on the next one you put, $1,000, you kind of are able to mitigate the volatility because you might lose a hand. Now, obviously, if you just keep winning a hand, you would make most amount of money if you just bought in there. But unfortunately, you don't always win, and not everything goes up in a straight line.
Right.
So that's the point. It's like even if it's at the end of the market, it doesn't go straight down and then stop there. It always does this and does this and it does this and it does this. So basically, your dollar cost averaging is just a way of mitigating the effect on mitigating the effect of volatility on your portfolio. So I'm a huge proponent of dollar cost averaging. I don't think hamming in is like a good idea, unless, hey, dude, if Bitcoin wicks down to $5,000, ham in, man.
Yeah.
If it wicks down to $5,000, I say you go all in. Forget dollar cost averaging.
Yeah.
But obviously, dollar cost averaging would mitigate. What if it went down to 3,000 still? You know what I mean? Sure. So it's kind of like you're kind of like picking and choosing. And it's more of a gamble if you just happen to just go all in at one point. So I think it's good to dollar cost average in, just like I think it's good to dollar cost average out. And then when you have some powder, or if you have some stable coins, and you happen to see, oh man, like Ethereum's it's going parabolic right now. Maybe there's a good chance that a lot of people are going to take profits, or maybe some whale is going to take advantage of all these people longing. Maybe it might be a good idea to put some stable coin at this resistance level. Like I said, I was a little bit greedy. Like, for example, when Ethereum dropped down to like $800 or $830, if I just would have put it at $1,000 instead of saying $800, if I chose that level instead, it would have filled. So I guess my thing is sometimes I'm a little bit too, what's the word? Conservative. It's like, oh, well, I'm only willing to buy if it drops down to this level. That's why it's good to also have multiple levels, which means your dollar cost averaging at different levels. So like at this Fibonacci level, you might want to put a buy order for $1,000. At this Fibonacci level, maybe 1,500, and then at this very low level, maybe $5,000, because you're like, if it goes down this low, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go like put a lot of money in at this point. So
do you feel like the dollar cost averaging is very important to you because you have conviction for the projects you're investing in, and would you be able to Right, like invest across the board in something that be more risky. Because I feel like for myself, I don't know if I'd be willing to like to buy in at what I might perceive as maybe a top in a short period of time, in which to say this is a project that I'm only speculating on. But if it's something that I believe in long term, then I'm happy to kind of dollar cost average, because even if I buy in at a higher price, I know that the long term of this project is going to help them out, and I'm going to receive many more dividends based on me just, making sure I get in that right entry.
Yeah. No,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
I mean, I don't think I could do the same thing on a shitcoin.
Right.
I'll be
So I
honest with
just
you.
want to
That's
make
why
sure
it's like,
make sure that's understood for distinction become like among the viewers, because they don't start dollar cards averaging their SHIB or their like their Akita tokens, in which take our financial advice.
come rock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Get some cummies, and make sure you dollar cost average that over the course of the next 6 months, and you're going to find yourself, maybe taking out a second mortgage to make sure you can eat. So it's not the thing that we want to be condoning, but as long as you agree with the project and you believe it, you can get behind your choices. Because if I have conviction, I can say, it may not be the smartest thing in the scale of what I'm doing here, but because I believe in this project in the long term, I don't mind buying in a little bit higher, because I know the project is going to be able to be so much more beneficial for the space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So I think it's an important distinction.
You really do have like a conviction to like hodl. You really have to believe in the project and the coin,
100%.
even the stock market. It's not even just relegated to cryptocurrency. Like even with AMC, right? So I bought it in, it's like $8, and then it dropped, dude. It dropped down to like $5 and less than $6, and I was down. And
same. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care, because to me, I was like, I refuse to believe that the worth of AMC is cheaper than a movie ticket. So I said, for me, what I see AMC, and AMC is actually, it's at $10 now. So I'm like, I'm in the green, $10.20 right now. But I said, once it was at $5 and $6, I was like, no. I was like, I will not sell at this level. I said, I will give my AMC stock to my kids before I sell it at $6. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because for me, I firmly believe in AMC. I see AMC as a $15 stock, and I'm not going to sell it at less than $15.
Nice.
And you know what? It happened. It wicked up, dude. It went up to $12, $13, went back down to $10 and $9. $10 seems to be a good support for it.
Right.
But I'm still not selling, even though I'm in the green, because I genuinely believe that AMC is worth at least the price of a movie ticket per share.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I really like the way that you've kind of put your mind around that, about let's put it in real world. What does a stock mean? Like, how much this company is valued to me, and how much am I going to spend towards this company? And I think that's important for new investors into this space, to look at it within a real world example, to say, hey, do I think AMC is worth $500,000 a share? Probably not, but it's at least worth a movie ticket. Right. And so as I want people to look at like Dogecoin and their tokenomics the same way, to say, hey, is Dogecoin going to get to $3,000 a coin? No, of course it's not. But, let's start to look at about what you think a Doge is actually worth, and then have some realistic expectations for that. And then to shape your investorship around what your expectations are, and to not be so blindsided and blinded by what you think a meme coin is capable of doing. It needs to have a more like holistic and realistic approach about what was accomplishable and what is realistic within the space as people try to invest. Because I've got a few of my friends who all think that Doge is going to go to thousands of dollars a coin because they made 35 cents on it. Right. And it's like, I'm sorry, guys, that's not going to happen, but I need you to understand. And so it's important for me to at least make the stab at this, at like, hey, guys, if you're looking at this space, look at it responsibly and what you really think these things are worth. Like, because what you just said, like AMC should be at least worth a movie ticket. Right? I'm going to buy a movie ticket. I know it's worth at least that. It's probably worth 5 or 15 movie tickets. It's probably worth as many movie tickets as I'm willing to see movies during the course of a year. Right? If I'm going to see 5 movies a year, it might be worth $60 or $75 a ticket. Okay, cool. That's max. All right. That's as well as this is as high as I'm willing to go. And right, it might get $75, but it's never going to be worth $30,000 a coin. It's never going to be worth that. And people are having these crazy dreams about how Dogecoin is going to the moon and it's going to be worth thousands of dollars per coin. And it's like, if you're going to learn anything from this channel and this show today, guys, have a realistic expectation about what your investment is going to receive in the time frame in which you're going to receive it. You know, who knows if AMC and inflation and all these other governmental and factors are going to make a price of a ticket go to $50, an individual ticket, and then maybe I could see AMC going to $150 a share, right? I could see that happening if we have enough inflation, enough money printing, and all that. But it's with other parameters being involved here that shapes this in which to be that valuation. Not just you and a dog and a cute little meme coin thinking that your dreams can be $5,000, right? Scale it back and to realize what is actually appropriate. And I think you'd be much more realistic about what your goals are and what you can achieve in crypto and in stocks itself. Just, they rein back the moonbeam eyes of like, oh, it's going to be worth $1 million. No, it's just not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen.
It doesn't help too that there's some YouTube channels that have it says Doge to $10, Doge $20, and basically these people that are shilling their coin. I mean, they're doing it.
There's a TikTok video that said 3,000 a coin. There's a TikTok video.
Yeah,
3,000 a coin. That's what he projected. 3,000 a coin for Dogecoin. 3,000.
Yeah.
And
not understanding that the market cap required for 3,000 a Dogecoin is ridiculous.
Almost more than money in circulation. It's like that's just not gonna. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's more money in existence, bro. And it's just I want people to be realistic because that is going to help shape our space in a very responsible way. That people are going to realize what they're investing in and what they can receive from it, and not this idea that I can drop $100 in like a sheep coin and then next month be worth $450 million because, hey, I like to tweet. It's not sustainable. It's not the way our space needs to be run. It needs to be a much more realistic approach to what is reasonable.
I fully agree with you. I think an issue is cryptocurrency is so difficult for people to understand, and they probably look at Bitcoin. They say Bitcoin. Well, in 2009, Bitcoin was sub penny. Bitcoin was I don't even remember, maybe 1,000 to $1. I don't remember.
Right.
So then. So people are saying probably today. I'm just imagining what's going through their mind. They're probably thinking, "Okay, I got
devil's advocate."
Yeah, I see Dogecoin. Bitcoin made it from sub penny to $60,000.
Right.
Why can't this Dogecoin go sub penny to 50,000? But we understand crypto a little bit better, and I think these people that don't understand crypto, that might be one of their genius thoughts that is not connected to anything in reality.
Right. It's not grounded.
Yeah. And we're trying to say ground it by thinking about the circulating supply in crypto. How much money is in the entire world? Can all the money in the entire world support Doge if it goes to $3,000 a coin? So I totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah. And people, I think the problem is they don't even understand anything about crypto. The mining, proof of work, proof of stake, and decentralized. It baffles me. I think you guys both have heard me talk about truth by consensus. Yeah. I think this is something that decentralization brings, and everybody talks about crypto because the word cryptocurrency is in there and because it makes money. Everybody only wants money. I totally understand that's human nature. But it's such
quality of our life. Yeah,
it's such a amazing, beautiful thing that cryptocurrency also brings a consensus of truth. But anyway, so I guess I'm getting at there's so much on this technology, and then everyone that's talking about Doge, they're just focusing on the freaking silly ideas that won't
it's
come
a drop in the bucket of what really the thing is going to affect our lives in the long run. Yeah.
And that's why it's like these rich guys, like Mark Cuban. Come on, dude. Mark Cuban understands the dynamics of cryptocurrency, and yet Mark Cuban is like shilling Dogecoin, and for them it's just like fun. And it's like but the thing is that they know better than that. Would I say I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that Elon Musk didn't even have any Dogecoin? I'm sure he does, but I just wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I don't think he has any.
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, hold up. Sorry, someone's at the door. I'll be right back. Sorry about that.
Take your time.
Yeah, I just think it's people getting excited about the space, and they're just excited. People who are like, hey, there's Doge. This is cool. Yeah. This is fun.
Yep.
And if nothing else, as much as I don't want them to bring them to the space for that reason, they're not going to come to the space for any other reason except that it has to be fun. It's got to be interesting. It's got to be easy. It's got to be something that I can't believe how easy this was.
Yeah.
Right. And if it's going to be hard, they're not going to come back. This is too hard for me. I'm not into this. I can't do it.
I was hoping the Samsung wallet would be an easy thing for people to pick up, but that didn't happen. The Samsung crypto wallet, I don't know. Yeah. I haven't heard really anything about it since. So
that's what the ease of use is definitely a huge thing. I think you guys are both like so right, because it's like, for example, okay, even back in February, right? I had some friends and I was telling them, like, hey man, you should purchase some Cardano. Like I think I'm very bullish on Cardano. At that time it was 89 cents. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, yeah, okay, how do I do it? I was like, okay, so here's what you got to do. You basically have to register for a crypto exchange. At that time, it wasn't on Coinbase. So I was like, you either have to go to the Kraken, register on Kraken, and then you're gonna have to go in there and basically transfer some funds to your basically your account. You're gonna have to buy it there, like in the market, and then like after a while, they're kind of like, I don't know what's like. There's no easy way for them to buy Cardano at that time because it wasn't even on Coinbase. There was no easy way for them to buy it. But even here in the Philippines, so I was like, it's even more complicated. The friend I was telling, I said, you should buy Cardano right now. He's like, how do I do it? I was like, okay, well, you got to get a coins.ph account. And then basically you have to transfer your money to your coins.ph wallet. And then you're going to have to buy XRP because it's the fastest. And then you're going to have to send XRP to like Binance or any other exchange. And then you're going to have to convert your XRP back to stablecoin. And then because that pairing doesn't exist. And then you're going to have to buy
You've already lost them. You've already lost them. They're like, there's no way in hell I'm doing any of that. I had no idea what you just said. Yeah, exactly. I've had the same thing when I've started to like, I've started to get some friends of mine who have started to open the centralized exchanges and is starting to authorize their accounts and be able to send their fiat in to get coins. And then I'm starting to talk about decentralized exchanges, about how you transfer these things to your wallet and then make swaps. And it is like I'm talking a foreign language. It is literally like, what? Listen, I've already just bought a coin. I'm good. All right. That's as far as I'm going to go. Right.
Yeah.
They're not willing.
You can't buy on centralized exchange.
Right.
Like, what? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, well, I'm getting the new projects. They're going to moon in a few years. What? Yeah. What? So if you get the carrot, you're absolutely right. If you got the carrot, that maybe as enough to lure people to say, hey, I'm doing good returns here. You could too if you follow my path. Then they might be like, all right, I need to learn more. But most people that you try to say, hey, I've earned money on crypto. I bought from a centralized exchange. I transferred to a wallet. I bought off a decentralized exchange. I made even more money. They're going to look at you like you have three heads. It is like, what?
Yeah.
Did you just say?
It's even more difficult here because it's like one thing that they have here in the Philippines is called coins.ph, and they only sell Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and XRP. So when I was trying to tell him, okay, so how do you, and I was explaining how he could buy Cardano at 89 cents, which would have been an awesome buy because right now it's at $1.70.
Yeah.
Right? That's a 2x, more than a 2x.
Yeah.
This is back in February. But when I explained to him, okay, so what you have to do is you have to send your pesos to your coins.ph account. Then you're going to have to buy. The reason why I said XRP, I didn't know it was going to moon at the time, but XRP because it's the fastest way to transfer it to an exchange, and then transfer from XRP to stablecoin, and then buy Cardano with your stablecoin. They were like, it's just too complex.
Yeah.
But it's like, if they would have put, say, 20,000 pesos, which is like even just $400, if they would have bought Cardano at 89 cents, they would already have $800. Just is it worth $400 more to do that amount of work? But for them, it's just like they're just so, and also a little bit, they're kind of scared. They're like, am I gonna mess up? Like, what if I do this or if I do that? Right. What if I send it to the wrong wallet? Things like that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely in terms of the ability to have access to that cryptocurrency that's like everything. Like for example, like Harmony One or even Solana. I'm thinking like, dudes, they're fundamentally strong, but the fact is that it's not. For example, Solana is not on Coinbase, and so people in America, a lot of the people, people that are over the age of like 50 or 60, they have like a Coinbase for them. That's like the America Online of cryptocurrency. Because you remember before, people couldn't access the internet. They had America Online, and it was even blurred. The lines between what the internet was and what America Online was blurred, because people were like thought America Online was the internet. You know what I mean? So essentially, Coinbase is basically America Online of cryptocurrency. And so if it's not traded on Coinbase, people don't have access to it and they can't buy it. It wasn't until Cardano finally got listed on Coinbase, there was a huge pump to like $1.40, and then it kind of dropped. People were like, no, it was baked in. That's why it dropped back to like $1.30. No, the fact is that it being listed on Coinbase, it wasn't the hype that was going to bring money into Cardano. It's the liquidity. So that's why, it pumped for a day and then dropped. If you look at it like a month later, it's like at $1.70 now, $1.80 at one point, because now the liquidity is there and now people have the ability to buy it if they want to buy it. So when people are like, oh, the Coinbase listing, it's a pump, you could ride the pump, but then definitely sell off, because the benefits aren't going to occur until later when people now are purchasing Cardano through Coinbase. Just like, look what's going on with Ethereum Classic. Look what's going on with Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. The reason why all of these coins are pumping now is because, is it a coincidence that all of these coins are coins that you buy Robinhood? People that know anything about cryptocurrency realize that Ethereum Classic is essentially a dead project. I mean, I believe Charles Hoskinson was actually the one that was in charge of it until he left, and now he's in charge of Cardano. But as Lem was explaining to me, because of the DAO and basically how they did the hard fork so that they could basically return all of the Ethereum to the people that lost the Ethereum that got hacked, and then it created, Ethereum Classic, which continued on that blockchain, and then you have Ethereum, what we know now. We all know that there's no one really developing on Ethereum Classic, and so it's pretty much a dead project. But the reason why it pumped to $150 is because, hey, Robinhood happens to sell Ethereum Classic, and these people saw Ethereum Classic at $35, and they're like, oh my gosh, and they looked at Ethereum and they saw it at 3,000 or 2,800, and they're like, well, what am I going to buy? I just made some money on Doge, which is also on Robinhood. I'm going to put my money into Ethereum Classic. I'm going to put my money into Bitcoin Cash. I'm going to put my money into Litecoin. So accessibility is everything. So all of these coins that are still very young, like Harmony One, like Solana, fundamentally are very strong. But the sad fact is that they suffer from a lack of access. Like, a lot of people can't purchase, Harmony One or Solana if they don't know how to. But that makes me very bullish on the fact that we're very early on this project.
I was just going to say that this whole segment, everything from what you're talking about, availability on an exchange to usability. I mean, if you talked to yourself 6 months ago, what you just showed me right prior to us doing this video podcast, where you were using Pancake swapping on your phone, connecting, I believe, did you have to have a wallet connected to Pancake? Doing that all on your phone like 6 months ago. If I told you you're going to be doing that,
I would have said you were crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have said you're absolutely bonking nuts. There's no way I'll be able to figure that out. I'm just going to be able to buy something on a Coinbase or like a Binance, and this is beyond me.
And then also,
and now I'm teaching others.
Yeah, and then also, I think you said something else earlier, Jeff? I forget. But so usability, all that. I think 100x, 1000x from now. 10,000x. I think we are still in line for that. So many people tell me every time I bring it up, they're like, "Oh, it's too late. Ethereum's 4,000. It's too late. Cardano, it's too late. Whatever, Solana, Bitcoin, it's too late." I'm like, no.
Have fun staying poor.
Yeah. But it's not too late. I mean, look at how hard it is to use a wallet. Look how hard it is to get onto even Coinbase. Coinbase is the easiest one, I think, out of all of it. Coinbase, you go in there, you have to give your ID, your name, your address, phone number. It's usually
approved really quickly.
Does it?
Yeah, usually it's pretty approved pretty quickly.
But you still have to upload your driver's license front, driver's license back. I forget if you have to do I don't think you have to do your passport, right? But anyway, so Coinbase, even though it's the easiest one, it's yet so many steps. So I think that's why we're so early with all this. I think Carl's running to the restroom because he drank too much wine.
Too much wine.
But
about to break the seal.
But yeah, I think we're early. I still think 1,000. I think 10,000x isn't too much out of the realm of possibility. I think one thing I want to sit down and try to figure out, and I don't think there's an answer for it, or at least not an accurate one, is there in M0 money, M1 money, the money around the world, and then it's either liquid cash or digital cash, meaning as the US and the banks print money, there's a lot of money in housing, loans, and all this stuff. So that's like probably M1, M2 cash. M0 is actual physical money. I think if I remember correctly, M0 is at $25 trillion. So then if you take that to market cap, like say the crypto market, let's use Bitcoin for now, because I think Bitcoin just hit 1 trillion, if I'm correct.
1.3, I think at its peak.
Okay. So so yeah, it just somewhere in the
1.2 trillion. Yeah, definitely more than a trillion.
So if you take market cap is and this is something that I think Carl is really, I want to use the word sensitive, but I can't find a better word. It's not a great word, sensitive. He wants to say, I mean, he thinks people don't know that market cap is the circulating supply times the last value traded. So meaning
yes,
that also doesn't mean that's how much money is in the system. So take Bitcoin at 1 trillion, the amount of cash in the world that's probably actually in Bitcoin, I don't know. It might only be 500 million. Might be less, because once people start selling, if some catastrophic event, someone finds a hack in SHA RSA encryption, and Bitcoin is like all cryptocurrencies, everyone wants to start selling. So Bitcoin at 48,000 right now, somebody's going to start selling, somebody else is going to start selling. The price is going to go from 48, 47, 46, 40, 35, 30, and all the way down. So the amount of people that actually pull out money, that whole process, I don't know. You might only pull out $500 million. I don't know the number. I'm just using an example for us to think about M0 cash and M1 money. It should actually be called currency. Money is fungible. Sorry, currency is printable. Money is not printable. So you take all the currency in the world, that M0 currency, so you at 25 trillion, that can support so much more in cryptocurrency. I'd have to sit down and try to draw out some numbers and guess. I think it's 100 to 1 or 1,000 to 1. So meaning if you have 25 trillion M0 cash in the world, I think the cryptocurrency, say Bitcoin, let's just take Bitcoin. It could go to, probably, what's after trillion?
Quadrillion.
It could go to 2.5 quadrillion and support all the M0 cash in the world. And so when people say it's too big, it's too much, I've lost my chance, I've missed the train. I'm like, no, this could go at least 1,000x, if not more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Did that make sense? Did I kind of jump too much all over the place?
No, I think I got it. I mean, like my predictions, like for example, people coming in right now, because we're definitely like midway through the bull market. I like to tell them, like I was talking to my friend, and he's already under the idea, because if he would have put, because there was a dude, Cardano was like less than 2 cents, and if you would have put like $2,000 in Cardano last year, you would already be up like $45,000, like crazy, gains like that. And, and his friend who bought it at Bitcoin at 8,000 and then Ethereum at like 300 or 350. Like I was like letting him know, like, hey, to be honest with you, you're not late in the whole, like in terms of the picture, like if you look at the broad picture, but in terms of this bull market, you're about midway through. So I don't want to give you the idea that you're gonna like 1,000 extra gains. You know what I mean? Or maybe you could 1,000x, but not maybe 20,000 extra gains if you come in now. Because there's a chance that, the bull market, like even with Bitcoin, like, so this is my opinion. What I see Bitcoin at the end of this bull market is probably around $130,000 to $140,000, so put its market cap at more, slightly more than Apple. Do I think that's the end of the road for it? Not at all. Like I said, I think $15 trillion big market cap is definitely within the realm of possibility, which would rival gold, because that's about the same market cap as gold. And I would say that a $500,000, $600,000 Bitcoin is definitely within without being extreme hopium. Like eventually, I think a $600,000 Bitcoin,
that's realistic.
I think that's gonna happen. Yeah, I think that's very realistic.
Yeah, realistic.
I think even in the future, in $1 million Bitcoin. But I did tell my friend, like, my realistic assessment of where Bitcoin will probably be at the end of this bull market is probably around 130. I mean, there might be some type of parabolic blow off top up to like 200 to 250, but even at that level, it's like, even from what I was talking with some people that were in the bull market last time, they said it did go parabolic at the end, and the exchanges, you couldn't even sell. Like, they were all so
bogged down by orders.
Even when it was parabolic, the exchanges crashed. So you couldn't even sell it at the parabolic top. Like, it was a straight up, vertical line. And people were trying to like log into their exchanges and sell off their Bitcoins. And
that's why I think it's important to take percentage of profits on your way up.
Yeah, absolutely. Dollar cost average out.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a leg up, you want to be able to take some profits out, at least your initial investment itself, to not leave it on the table. But I think there's so I would love to hear more about your exit strategy for this bull market. That's when you think the bull market will end, and then how you're kind of approaching yourself as you approach what we perceive will be another bear market in the next couple of years. How are you setting yourself in this bull in which to prepare yourself for the next bear so that you're even better positioned for the following bull?
Before you answer that, let me, was it one of you two that asked about the belt that I bought? Was it you, Jeff?
Yeah, I didn't ask about any belt.
No.
Oh, the belt that I bought with Ethereum? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Wait. You bought a belt with Ethereum?
Okay. Go ahead. Tell your story. I'll go grab the belt for the story's sake, and then I'll be back down. Go ahead. Continue your story.
I wonder how much that belt is worth right now.
It's priceless in my book. Priceless.
Yeah. So here's my thing, and the funny thing is what I said probably about a month ago. I said when things get crazy and coins start pumping that shouldn't be pumping, I'm probably looking at a possible end of the bull market, and that's when Doge started pumping, and I'm like, Is
it already happening?
I kind of got a little bit scared.
Yeah, I thought about it too. I was like, all right, is it like a 10x in March? Am I done? Yeah.
When I saw I'm not gonna lie, when I saw Doge hit 65 cents, I was like,
oh
no.
Yeah. I was pissed.
I was like, I don't want this to be over yet, because it's like, dude, I kind of entered the market kind of late.
Yeah,
I
was pissed.
kind of like, oh my gosh. So what I'm doing though is I'm monitoring everything, and that's why I have a trade view. I'm monitoring everything and looking to see, all the crashes where there's support, if there's still support, and that's when I'm looking when there be. I mean, I personally think that the market end of this bull market in terms of peak, it probably isn't even until September.
Yeah, that's what I've heard
October.
too. Yeah, right. That's what I've heard too.
Yeah, around September or October, and that doesn't mean it's just gonna flash crash all the way down. That's right. When I tell people that they automatically it's gonna go down.
That's market's all time highs. Yeah.
There's gonna be a dead cat bounce, which means there's gonna be a slight rebound. And then it's going to kind of go down, and it doesn't go down in a straight line, just like it doesn't go up in a straight line. So it's going to be a bounce.
Right.
So at that point, I might take some profits, but I'm always going to have a hodl bag, which I'm going to hold all the way through the bear market. Cool. But because I kind of came late into this bear market, basically what I'm doing is when it gets to the bear market, that's when I'm going to put a lot of my investments in. So at that point, I'll be working in the States and I'll be making a good amount of money. Same. So I'm going to be doing a lot more investing in the bear market to come, because I'm kind of late in this bull market. Like if I would have started, it's kind of crazy, because it's like, dude, if I would have started last December even.
I know it. Dude, I mean, my God. Yeah, like the number of X's we could have right now, it's like serious. Yeah, like the entrance in December versus the entrance in February is huge. It was monumental change. Yeah.
Monumental, like from $4,000 to $1 million.
Yeah,
and
enormous.
So when I was talking to my friend, and he was actually talking to me last week about it, because he's like, "Oh man, I'm thinking about investing like $50,000 into cryptocurrency. What should I do?" I was like, "Yeah, you can invest in cryptocurrency." I said, "We're still in the bull market." I said, "You just have to be realistic in what type of returns you're gonna get in this bull market."
Yeah,
and then. I had to explain to him, and I wish someone explained this to me earlier, because I didn't understand why. I just thought it was a coincidence that bull markets happen every 4 years.
Right.
When finally I found out it's because every 4 years the Bitcoin halving occurs, or halvening, whoever you talk to,
Right.
Which basically essentially cuts the amount of supply down by half. And if you have essentially the same amount of demand, then you're going to double up, right? So I didn't understand that there was actually an inherent clock on it. You know what I mean?
Right. It's deflationary, not inflationary.
No, I just thought, okay, whatever, I'm done. I missed it. I didn't realize that there's going to be another Bitcoin halving, and that
we're so used to the dollar losing dollars, losing the purchasing power every couple of years, and they print more of it, that it's hard to conceptualize something that can move the opposite direction.
In the opposite direction. That's why it's like, why do I think Doge could be the future and flip Bitcoin? Well, Doge is it suffers from the very problem that a lot of people are trying to exit out of the dollar.
Right. There's over 5.5 million that's minted every day. So that's not a cure for fiat.
So why would you sell off your dollar because you're worried about inflation? That's the problem that a lot of people are actually buying into cryptocurrency, and then buy a cryptocurrency that's just as, if not more, inflationary than the US dollar. So it's like, for me, that's why a lot of people.
That's why I was so mad at Elon, because I was like, come on, you're not going to bring these people for this space for this reason, are you? You're going to let these people learn about this space for this reason? No, come on. That's why I was so mad. I was so angry. I was like, I'm never going to buy a Tesla. Screw this guy. But, dude, I was angry. I was mad at work one day. I went in all like steaming and pissed off. I was like, I can't believe what he did to ruin our, he's destroying our Earth. This is ridiculous. I can't believe he's doing this for our space. There's so much more things we can accomplish if he would just back off.
I'm going to buy a Lucid just to fight him.
Yeah. And, I realized no matter what, there are winners and there are losers. And you just have to position yourself to be a winner within what you anticipate will happen. And you're always going to be disappointed if you expect others to act in the way that you would. I learned that when I was very young. You're always going to be disappointed if you expect others to act the way that you do. Right? If you think that this is the world I want to live in, I want people to act this way, you're going to be disappointed more often than you'll be pleased. And it's the same opportunity with crypto. Right? It's just because it speaks to you doesn't mean it's going to speak to everyone else. And it's a hard pill for me to swallow, because I want everyone to get on board with all the great things that I'm excited about. But at the end of the day, that's not fun. Yeah. That's not exciting. If you're 22 years old and you can deal with your computer and your smartphone and you're good with that, and you have this really smart guy who wants to go to Mars and get us off this planet Earth that sucks because all your baby boomer grandfathers have been destroying the dollar that you have to grow up and have all these taxes you have to pay. And so there's this other guy trying to get us off this planet to go to Mars. You're going to be like, hey, that's my hero. That's my champion. Whatever he says, I'm down. Dogecoin to the moon. Let's do this. Screw grandpa. Right?
I go all the way, all money in, dude. I mean, people are putting in 30,000, 50,000. Some people are putting millions of dollars in. It's funny too, because they also kind of have, they suffer from like very narrow attention span. Because it's kind of ironic that they consider, like, it's like Dogecoin, right? Like a dog, because it's almost like Fetch. Like they can bounce around. They can go. You know what I mean? They have a very short attention span. They could go from Doge, to for example, GameStop, then to AMC, then to Nokia, then to Dogecoin, then to Shiba Inu. Like they kind of have like, this way, go, this way, go, this way, go. Like,
as long as their phone sends them a notification, they're going.
Yeah, I mean, even with AMC, it was at like $12, $13, and then when Doge started pumping, I wouldn't be surprised. AMC dumped, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the liquidity in AMC went towards Dogecoin, because a lot of the people were like, okay, forget it, going into Dogecoin. I mean, I didn't sell it, but I'm sure a lot of people did, and they kind of have a bit of a short attention span, because it's like, like it's kind of like in that one cartoon, you remember, where there's a dog, and whenever it always go squirrel, like you remember it was, you know what I'm talking about? So it'd be like squirrel, Dogecoin, squirrel, the other coin, the Cum Rocket one, like people hand into a coin called Cum Rocket. Like, are you?
Did you hear about that one?
Like,
oh yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Hashtag the cummies. Like, hashtag the cummies. It's cummies.
Yeah.
Yeah. CUMMIES.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there was Elongate. Then there was Doge
Elon,
Moon.
yeah,
Still Doge Moon.
There's more. There's
100
Akita. There's Ass, the Australian safe shepherd. Ass has been mooning recently. People are, I mean, come on, this is great, right? It's a dog, and you get to buy Ass.
Ass Moon.
Who doesn't want to buy Ass Moon?
Mooning.
I want to buy Ass. Oh my god, I love to buy some Ass. That's great. Love Ass. Seriously, I mean that's a brilliant marketing way to go about it. You know, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them.
Happy that kind of like Vitalik, rug pulled Shiba.
Yeah, really exactly. Kind of dumped this guy today. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was kind of like he's like, guys, we don't need this.
Yeah,
like,
stop.
And just like Charles Hoskinson was saying, it's gonna also bring
exactly regulatories. Yeah, it could be terrible for everybody who spent their entire careers building out sophisticated spaces because the future is here. And, they're trying to make really good things for all of us to improve the quality of our lives. And then you can have some dumb shitheads come in and meme coin it out. And then you go, oh, I guess all the work I had just done was for nothing. Thanks so much, SEC. Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate all you guys. Thanks for destroying our lives. Morons.
And it'll give them that reason, that excuse, I guess, that excuse to enter the cryptocurrency market is because, oh, dude, so many people got rug pulled on Dogecoin and they lost so much money, and now we have to prevent it from happening. So
it's
under
a
the
Batman
guise of
line
from happening to other people,
it's a Batman line, but it's a thing where that there's some people just want to see the world burn.
Yeah,
it's a shame. It's a shame, but like there's the hurt people, right? And if you're suffering, you don't want to see the goodness of everyone rise. If you're in pain, if you're suffering, there's a part of you that kind of is okay with other people hurting too. You're like, oh, good. All right, I'm not the only one. Good, you know what I mean? And it's a tough thing, but it almost feels that way. It's like the world just went through a really tough period for the last, I'd say easily more than a decade. Everyone's kind of been like, wow, life sucks. From the World Trade Center bombings to COVID and all the things in between. People haven't been really bullish about the human race and our surviving on this planet. Everything is feel like every year we're going to die from something bad is going to happen. It's really not been that great of a story. So to have people come in and be like, no, I really want this to be a good thing. I think we deserve it, and people are kind of used to, getting their mind wrapped around this idea that, things aren't very good and we're suffering and things are tough. And I think it's time for us to, as a species, rise above this and say, no, we are better than this. We deserve better times. We are capable of more. And if we believe in each other, we can accomplish this. So it's important that we band together and do this, knock it out of the park. But for right now, people are skeptical about that. And it's that skepticism that prevents people from going, no, this is the space I want to be in because I believe in it. I have conviction. Right. Instead, we're kind of step back and like, oh, I don't know. I'm a little squeamish. It's been a rough road recently. I don't know if I can get all in on that. Seen some other failures recently. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, also, at the same time, I think we also have to realize that we are kind of also somewhat blessed because all three of us kind of have the ability to put some, disposable income into, cryptocurrency. But then there's also some people that are really, they I've told them about cryptocurrency and I can fully agree on why they can't invest right now, because for them, it's like they're just struggling to make ends meet for their family.
Sure.
And while they wish they could, and that's why even in the cryptocurrency market, the people that mostly made a lot of money, let's be realistic though, there are a few people that made a lot of money, definitely, right?
Well, I don't want to minimize their
there's
experience.
Average people, but a lot of them were actually really rich too.
Certainly. That's the way it's always gone. The rich people have the advantage in which to make more moves, and those who have to kind of make ends meet are obviously at a disadvantage. But how many of us here at this table today have made the active approach to say, you know what, I could spend my extra money on a nice dinner or a nice experience or a vacation or any of these things, but because we know what we know, we're making the active choice in which to pinch pennies, live frugally, and to take these extra dollars and to put them in something that we think is going to be more beneficial for the future. So we're making a choice each and every day by taking our extra money that we have and then actually investing it. Where some of our, these people that you talk about who are certainly suffering and could benefit from investing are choosing to reward themselves by enduring a difficult situation and thinking that they deserve something because, hey, I survived pandemic, I deserve a nice meal, or I deserve a nice vacation. And while they may not be wrong, we are making a choice in which to take our extra money and invest it in something for our future. Other people are making a different choice in which to, just reward themselves for being able to endure something that all of us have endured. So I'm not trying to downplay their experience, but at the same time, I'm trying to make sure that we recognize that we are lucky on one hand, but we're lucky and making the choice in which to take that, like the extra money that we have available for us and investing it in our future that not everybody is doing,
Like the dent on my S2000, I could have chose to use the money to repair that, but at that time I was taking money every month and dropping it into crypto.
Right. Like I can take a vacation right now. My girlfriend's like, "Hey, we need to take a vacation. We just survived pandemic. We need to go somewhere fun." And I'm like, "No, we haven't worked for a year. I think we should work first and then reward ourselves with a vacation." And she's like, "No, we should reward ourselves now." And I'm like, "No, that doesn't make sense to me."
But I do accept that there's a percentage of the population that isn't so. I understand. Like I said, the people that by far made, billions of dollars. There's people that made billions of dollars. Those people are very rich and they have the ability to throw, hey, I'll throw $1 million here. I'll throw $1 million on Ethereum, and I don't need that $1 million, right? So while a lot of everyday people, they made a lot of money.
Right. And there's Warren Buffett's and there's Michael Saylor's, and they're not the same thing, right? Even though they are established money and they have money to invest, Michael Saylor will be the Warren Buffett of the future, and Warren Buffett will be like, who?
Yeah.
Who is that? I have no idea who that guy is, right?
So those guys have the money, but I also have to realize that it's only a small. Even the stock market, like a lot of people are like really upset right now because the stock market is kind of crashing right now, and they're upset. But then, is that the belt right there?
Yeah, it's a 400.
Yes, the belt.
I think it's a $400 belt right now.
How much?
I feel like it's a $400,000 belt.
It was. I spent about 0.09 of an ETH, so we could say 0.1 just to make the math easier.
It's worth every penny.
Back then, 0.1 of an ETH was about $25. So I paid $25 for shipping and for this this belt, and 0.1 of an ETH today is $400.
Yeah.
Now,
that's all right, man.
Now
I sold my half Bitcoin for about $3,000.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And the thing about I think for me, whenever I bought something with Ethereum back then, like say I probably put in $100. I took $100. I got probably 0.4 of a ETH back then. I used 0.1 to buy this, and I kept 0.3 in the account. So,
right.
A lot of like the pizza story, like the Bitcoin pizza story, the 10,000.
It was 1,000 Bitcoins.
I think it was 10,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think it was 10,000.
10,000 Bitcoins.
I'm hoping that person was like me, and they did
had 150. They had 150,000, and it was like just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, but hopefully
it wasn't like they spent all their Bitcoin to buy a pizza.
Well, hopefully, hopefully what they did is they put in like $30 to their account. They used 15 to buy the pizza, but they still had the $15 worth of Bitcoin.
Wasn't that in Japan though? Was that in Japan?
Oh, I thought I heard New York, but I might.
I think it's in the States. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of the place that accepts Bitcoin now for pizzas in Tokyo.
Smart move.
All right, I'm going to walk us into the final questions. Jeff, this is your second time here. So you get the second phase of questions.
Oh, there's a second phase. Ooh,
you already had the second phase because you already did part 2.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are going to be the same questions for Jeff, but the first time Jeff's probably hearing them because I don't. Oh, actually, yeah, I uploaded your video, but anyways.
Oh, that's right. So we did a podcast and then we had a second video.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Okay. So first question.
I'm spoiled.
Is what's the best vacation you've been on?
Ooh, man, that's hard, dude. That's a really hard one because I loved Europe. I had a great time in Amsterdam and London, but in terms of like a country that like I fell in love with aside from the Philippines, I really love the Philippines. Japan, man. I honestly say I really love Japan. The people is definitely more than half of it too. They are so kind and nice, and their work ethic and their it's almost it's amazing their culture. Like
Yeah.
everything that they do, it's not enough that they do it well. They have to make it like perfect. Like for
Yeah.
example, I don't know if you guys know
Extraordinary.
what a Japanese like souffle pancake is. It's a pancake that's like extremely fluffy, and so it like takes like hours to make. And it's like, okay, dude, it's a pancake. You can go to McDonald's and you can buy some flapjacks or
Right.
hotcakes at like, you know,
Right.
before 10:30 in the morning and just get some
Right.
pancakes. But no, it's like a pancake that exceeds that transcends a pancake. You know, it's not enough for it to taste good. It has to feel good in your mouth. The texture, it has to look good. It has to smell good. And it's not, and I'm just using this as an example, but it's something that they take and they apply to almost every aspect of their life. And it's really amazing to see that. And they're so kind and like nice. Like it was funny because we were in the train, we were getting off the train. And it's funny because I put my ticket in and then I guess I'm supposed to grab the ticket again, but I didn't. And I just kept walking. And then maybe a good 500 yards down, I saw a lady shouting like, "Hey, hey!" And then I thought she was trying to sell me something, so I kept just shaking my hand. I was like, "No, no, 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 no!" Like I thought she was just trying to sell me something. She literally went out of her way to like run 500 yards to make sure that I got my train ticket because I wouldn't be able to get out of the train station wherever I arrived at if I didn't have that ticket. And it's just like they're really kind. And then I was in a restaurant and we were eating, and then I was having problems eating rice with chopsticks, which is really difficult. I mean, I'm Asian and I eat rice, but eating rice with chopsticks, that's like different level difficult. So unless you have a bowl where you can kind of like scoop it into your mouth, so they can
If it's really sticky, so you're
two
like,
ladies at a table next to me saw that
your
I was
struggle.
having problems, and they did it. So it was cool. It was like a house that was turned into a restaurant. So it was like different rooms. So it's not even like I could call a waiter or waitress. They had that phone. You had to get up and you had to pick up the phone and then tell them like what you need. So this lady picked up the phone and then called the waiter to come up with a spoon and fork just to help me out because she could see that I was struggling. Now I know some people might think that's condescending and be like offended, but no, they genuinely saw that I was like struggling, and they went out of their way to like ask for a spoon and fork so that I could finish my rice comfortably, which was really difficult. I'm just really amazed by it. I mean, the history in Japan. Like when we were in Osaka, it's funny because I'm a huge foodie. So when we were in Osaka, I went to the very first place that created takoyaki. Then I went to the very first place that served takoyaki with mayonnaise, and I went to this Michelin star restaurant. So I love to go to all of these places that kind of have like historic value in terms of food. And Japan is it's like amazing, man. I mean, even okay, another example, Kobe beef, right? It's not enough to serve a steak, right? I mean, steak is good.
Yeah, let's massage this cow and feed it beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
take care of this cow and make sure he's the happiest cow it can ever be. Yeah.
So it's not stressed out, so it has to be not just a steak. It has to be, the most perfect steak that they could possibly like produce, and everything. It's like, so I guess in essence, the culture is something that I gravitate towards. So definitely my vacation in Japan definitely stood out. So out of all of it, I mean, I loved Europe. Don't get me wrong, Europe is freaking fantastic as well. I went to South Korea. South Korea was fun. But in terms of something that just stands out, like where, like for example, if, and I love the Philippines as well. I would love to live in the Philippines. But like if someone said, hey, I'll give you 100 Bitcoin, where would you live for, 10 years? Give me 100 Bitcoin and I would be living in Japan. That's the truth because
Nice.
I just love the culture and
nice.
everything there. So that was definitely one of the best vacations I've had. Here in the Philippines, I've had a lot of awesome vacations, places like Boracay, awesome beaches. But yeah, I would say that's it. Japan.
Nice. All right.
I hope that's a justification for my answer.
No, that's it's a good story. Next question. What inspires you?
I think progress. I think that's what inspires me. I think it's what inspires me to be better. It's, hey, I may not have, $20 million now, but maybe if I have $1,000 more next month or the month after that. And it's not just money, but same thing with going to the gym. Maybe I can't bench press 300 pounds, but as long as, a month later, I'm bench pressing another 10 more pounds, seeing progress, because that in itself is motivating. And just like you were saying, right? You said, hey, you pat yourself on the back. You learned how to do this. You pat yourself on the back. That motivation is coming from you being a better whoever you are. Yeah, I learned how cryptocurrency and now I'm doing this and I feel better about myself. So in terms of what motivates me, it's always to be better. And it's not limited to cryptocurrency. It's not limited to the stock market. It's not limited to the gym. Yeah. It's just everything. I love learning new things, whether it's in the field realm of medical technology, whether it's in the realm of cryptocurrency, even physics, Veritasium. I love Veritasium, that channel on YouTube. I think anything that I can learn makes me a better Jeff than I was yesterday. So I don't like to compare myself to other people. Like Elon Musk, who's going to come? I can't compare myself to Elon Musk. I can compare myself to Bill Gates or Michael Jordan or any of these people. But as long as I'm better than I was in the past, then I feel like it's fulfilling and motivates me to keep going. It brings meaning to my life, and also changing other people's lives. I like to live in a way to be somewhat generous and kind and try to offer up things that could help other people benefit. You know what I mean? So I think those things motivate me, and it's not about money per se, finding happiness. That's the thing that's why they think it's like money and happiness. No, they're like, well, people that are rich are happy. Well, not all people that are rich are happy. But I said they're not mutually inclusive. No. I would argue that if you find those people that are rich and are happy, that even if you took that money away, they would still be happy. Yeah. Those are just people that are just inherently happy, and they find things in everyday life that make them happy, whether it's their family, whether it's growing plants or vineyards or wine.
Yeah, they've been learning to be thankful.
They don't need $1 billion. You know what I mean? It just so happens all of a sudden, maybe all of a sudden they become millionaires and they're really happy with their life. I don't think the money necessarily is what made them happy. So, okay, that's all of it in a nutshell. I hope I didn't go off on a tangent.
Nope, it's all good.
That's basically what motivates me.
What next question? What keeps you up at night? What thoughts do you often ponder about?
Flash crashes, man. It's like thinking, what's gonna happen now? Is Bitcoin gonna drop to 40K? No, but I mean, in essence, what keeps me up at night? It's things that I could have done better in the past that I didn't. I could have just done better in the past. Even with the exam, it's like after it came out, I found out that I passed, and my fiance was like, "Why are you not happy?" I was like, "Because I feel like I could have done better." Huh. There was just, it's like that need it's like feeling that I could have done better is what kind of keeps me up at night. But then I have to remember to always kind of like look forward. And as long as I'm progressing, hey, dude, now I passed the exam and I'm going to be a clinical laboratory scientist soon. So that's progress. But I would definitely say that that's one thing that I have to work on. And what kind of keeps me up at night is knowing that I could have done better in the past, and not being able to just kind of like let that go and give myself a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. No, I actually think too few people in the world.
Like it eats me up inside.
Yeah.
I think too few people in the world don't have enough regret. I think everyone's living, not everyone, but so many people are living some type of either YOLO or they just don't have the ability to reflect on their actions and how it affects others or how it even affects them in the near future. So that I wish more people would have some type of reflection like that.
I think it might be reciprocal. I think it depends on how things are going, depending on you and your expectations of the situation. Like if you anticipate that you're going to be successful in that paradigm, you expect it. And so you don't give yourself benefit of the doubt. And so when it comes the other direction, you kind of like assume it's going to happen. And so when it doesn't, that you don't give yourself enough like credit for what you've accomplished. You know, it's like you assume it's going to happen.
No, I agree.
And,
You know,
I think it just depends on your experience, and that shapes who you are and what your expectations for what it is. Mm-hmm. And the real humbling, when you finally can, I would say, elevate yourself from that, is when you, I would say, when you break that mold, right? So when you can finally go, I had this expectation, but I didn't achieve that expectation, but I'm still have self-worth and self-value because I'm still learning and still growing and still accomplishing. And so when you can break that, that paradigm for yourself of saying, I need to get to this level or else I'm a failure, versus I need to get this level at this point, and if I don't, cool. Well, that just means I'm not ready, and I'm going to keep trying. And that mindset allows you to go so much further than thinking of yourself as a failure. And if you think yourself as a failure, you're going to have a hard time getting back on that horse, know? But if you're just growing and you're having fun growing and you're, well, if you're falling and picking yourself up, man, that's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful journey.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
At what age did you see yourself the most mature? What personality changes were there? What were the factors that caused those changes?
Ooh.
Well, last Tuesday.
That's a difficult one, because I don't even see myself as mature now, man.
Well, that was my answer too. I think
it's like I look. I don't even. It's like, the thing is like, I think it's crazy, but it's like ever since I was even young, I always felt like there was a sense of responsibility. Even when I was working, in say, Foster's Freeze or working at Fry's Electronics, I always felt like there was always a sense of responsibility. Now, in terms of like mature to decide to actually finally decide and pick a career, probably when I decided to basically leave my job as a DoD contractor, and then decided to just go to the Philippines and push through and become a med tech. I guess you could say is when it's kind of a gamble too, because you're like thinking, man, at least I'm making this amount of money, I'm working for the government, it's a good paying job. But the fact is like, is it really going to be a career? Can I look forward down the road 20, 30 years? Am I still going to so I think I would say that was like the biggest move where I could say that, like, I decided, okay, I'm going to go this route. It's a bit humbling to go from, having a job and and then deciding to go back and be a student full time, go back to the Philippines, and then go, have classmates that are like 17, 18 years old. It's like, oh man, talk about like 4 or 5 steps back. But I said, you know what? In the end, I look forward, and this is where I'm going to be in the future, right? It's okay to take 2 steps back as long as you take 4 steps forward.
Right.
And so I focused on that, and I decided, okay, well, you know what? If I'm going to go to the Philippines, I'm going to study BM Tech. I might as well study hard and try to, be the best thing medtech that I could be. And then I ended up falling in love with the actual course and the subject matter. I ended up like finding so many things interesting about medical technology, the medical field. And I'm a bit nerdy in that sense, but I ended up like finding, things amazing about, the human body. And so I ended up really actually loving it. So I would say that shift though, to take 4 steps back so that I could take 8 steps forward, I would say was probably the most, I also have to realize I was blessed. I also had some, money saved up, and I was able to do that. But it's a gamble, and just like you decided to buy Ethereum, it's a gamble that I was going to move to the Philippines and go back to school. And so I would say that was
invested in yourself.
Invest in myself. So I would say that that's probably the point where I could say that I was somewhat mature. But in the end, I still don't really feel like I'm mature. I don't think there's a level that is mature. It's always just striving to be better than who I am. I don't think there's ever going to be a level where I'm like, oh, that's it, I'm mature, or level where I'm like, once I start bench pressing 300 pounds, it's over. I think it's all about the journey, man, not the destination.
Right.
And you remember, sometimes, like, you just got to keep moving forward. You just got to, and eventually you look back and you're just proud of the distance that you came, or you jogged, or you ran. So yeah, that's my answer.
Awesome.
What?
Not mature yet.
Yeah. Thank God.
Next question. What can you not live without, excluding water, food, and health?
XRP.
Ooh.
Stable coin?
Yeah.
One, man.
He's like USDT.
Stable coin. USDT. Stable coin. Oh man, that's a hard one, dude, because there's so many things that I find that I think I guess maybe most of them are wants. Exercise. I would say that even during this pandemic, it's one thing that I've learned that I've absolutely needed is the ability to go to a gym. And because for me, working out, I love working out, and it's not to get not to get a beach body or get buff or really bench press a lot. For me, it's like meditation, man. When I'm in the gym and I have my Spotify going, it's just me, my headphones, and the gym, and nothing else matters. It's a moment of clarity. And there was a few times when there was flash crashes in the cryptocurrency market, and I just had to go basically put on my headphones and go to the gym.
Yeah.
And it was
Man
an
versus
hour
himself.
of clarity. Where it didn't matter what my if I was going to pass the board exam. It didn't matter if Bitcoin hit 20,000. So it's like my escape. So I would say exercise is aside from food, because it's funny because I love food. I'm a huge foodie and I eat a lot of food, but I also like to exercise it's my form of meditation.
Awesome.
So I would say exercise.
Awesome.
But can I say my family and friends actually too? It's really hard, dude, because it's like, I kind of, but then what's just exercise if I don't have my family and friends? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm very, man, that's difficult. Okay, I'll change it to family and friends. I think I absolutely need family and friends, my loved ones. I'll survive without my escape as long as I have people that I love around me.
Yeah, good answer. All right, final question. This question was made more for people that aren't into cryptocurrency, so this question is kind of funky for you. Just answer however you want. If I told you to put $5,000 into cryptocurrency as an investment, what questions or thoughts come to mind?
Ooh, that's a hard one. That's a hard hypothetical because it's like all of the questions already, but okay, let's say that you would. What questions come to mind? What use case does it have? Is it even real? Is it, you know what I mean? I would say that's probably the most difficult thing that I struggled with, right? Because I mean, like I said, I'm not a crypto maximalist. I believe that there are other assets in life also. Like some people are like, oh, why would you buy a car with your Bitcoin if it's going to depreciate and your Bitcoin is going to appreciate? Or why would you buy when you could take your fiat and put it into Bitcoin? For me, it's things that I love, right? Like let's say I love cars as well. And so if I happen to ever buy an NSX, and I could have put that money into cryptocurrency and made money on it. But if I deem that this is worth it, this is what I find it's worth it to me, then I'm going to buy an NSX. So I would say are these assets worth it to me? And you already know my answer because I went down the road. I did my research and oh man, find it very fascinating. Even my fiance, she's like, "Can you stop talking about cryptocurrency?"
Enough is enough.
You know what I mean? Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Let me switch over. Okay. So yeah, that's essentially what is it about this asset or cryptocurrency that would make it worth it to me to invest in? What use case does it have? Because that's one thing. Like I said, even in cryptocurrency, I can't invest in anything that I don't believe in. And that's not just relegated to cryptocurrency. That's everything. I can't put my money into something I don't believe. And if I happen to make a lot of money in the future and I take some of it and I end up buying an NSX, a lot of Bitcoin maxis would probably be like, why are you doing that? Why can't you just, buy something because it means something to you, So
you can't take it with you.
Yeah, that's it. What is it about, what is it about that belt? I hope is worth, $400 to you.
No, I don't even like this belt.
It seems like it's been never worn. It seems like it's brand new.
So
it's still worth exactly what he paid for it.
So I bought it.
I'm thinking he's hoping he can return it someday, and they get the same amount of ETH back. And I think that's his goal. So we'll see.
It was at the time, Overstock.com just opened up cryptocurrency buying. So I wanted to prove it to some of the people that were around me. They kept on saying, "What can you buy with cryptocurrency? It's not real. You can't buy anything. There's no use for it." So I bought a belt, and I said, "Look, this is what I bought with it." And that was kind of
this is tangible.
Yeah, this is tangible. Right. I actually right now don't even, like Carl was saying, I probably worn this thing twice actually. I don't care for it. It was actually just to buy it, just to say I bought something with cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Well, it's like for me, and this might go against some Bitcoin maxis, but I mean, I wouldn't invest in it so much if I couldn't get something tangible in return if I needed to. You know what I mean? Like, because at that point you're just trading, Plats and EverQuest, or you're trading WoW Gold and World of Warcraft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which it's just fine because I bought WoW Gold. I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but yes, I bought WoW Gold with real money because that's what you can sell it for. Yeah. So unless it has some type of worth to me, does cryptocurrency have any worth to me? That would be my question on before I decided to invest my money. You know what I mean? And then it's funny because initially it was purely just on, the return on tangible assets, but then I ended up really, also, I guess, finding interest in all of the different fundamentals of all the different coins and different projects, So I guess how I feel.
When you say that question, is cryptocurrency worth it to you? And is there a use case for it? Are you saying that when you first got into cryptocurrency, or currently you feel that way too?
Oh, no. When I first got into cryptocurrency use case, that was the first question I think I asked myself. And the second question I asked myself is, do I find it worth it? Like, does this asset mean anything to me?
So
you know what I mean?
How do you feel about it now?
Because oh yeah, absolutely. I'm totally bullish on cryptocurrency, man. But and the sad fact is that there are people that are just invested in a cryptocurrency and it doesn't mean anything to them too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there are millionaires that put and they don't even understand how blockchain works. They don't understand consensus. They understand the purpose of .256. They understand why it's so secure and how it's not stored in a bank. It's stored on the blockchain. They can't wrap their minds around it, nor do they care to wrap their minds around it. Same thing about smart contract platform on Ethereum, and how basically it's almost like physics. A contract, when executed, you can't change it because of the consensus, the amount of computers that are basically in agreement with it. If I put an Ethereum and I say I'm going to give an Ethereum to my dad in 10 years and I send it and I execute it, there's nothing that can change that. Not the US government, not the Chinese government, nothing, so, I mean, aside from another hard fork, I guess you could say, but so I find it profound and I find it amazing that these things exist, you don't have to rely on a middleman or a bank or a person that's going to write your will and say, oh, okay, well, I'll give one Ethereum to your father at this time. It's all automatically done, and it's done in a manner that no government or no institution can alter it. So there's so many things I find fascinating about cryptocurrency. It's not just an investment, but I think it sounds cliche. It's a way of life. But you know what I mean?
I had a feeling you felt this way.
The technology brings.
Yeah, I had a feeling you felt that way, but the way you worded it earlier, I wasn't sure if you were like backtracking on some of the thoughts or something. So I was just reiterating.
No. But I will be honest and say that there are also other assets in life that I find mean something to me. So like if I happen to go down the road and I buy like an NSX, to me it's like priceless. Because even with my S2000, it's priceless. I've never sold. I had my S2000, even when the engine popped, I put on a new engine, and then eventually once I flipped my car, and I was sad, super sad. But to me, it's priceless because I was never gonna sell it anyways, right? So
we have something else in common.
All three of us are current or previous owners of S2000s.
Oh yeah, the way that thing handled, man, it's like a go-kart, dude. Like being in a
That's what we said earlier. Yeah. The difference between a crotch rocket and a go-kart, somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah, beautiful, man. Hitting that corner, coming out of that apex.
Yeah.
So If I ever happen to buy an S2000 again, I will never sell it. I didn't sell it. I just got into an accident, and that's why I lost it. But I never would have sold it. If I buy an NSX, I don't think I'll ever sell it.
Yeah, same.
And so at that point, they're priceless to me. Is it worth?
Yeah.
Let's say I bought it with a certain amount of Bitcoin, and that amount doubled or tripled. Is it worth it to me? Yeah, because I'm not going to sell it. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's the question I think you answer yourself is like, just how much is someone willing to let it go for? That's how much it's worth. Yeah. As much as it's worth to you, yeah. My question is, my question for the end of the interview is kind of a futuristic one. If you were to look into your crystal ball, when do you think the first insurance plan for anything that will be sold on a blockchain? When is the first insurance plan sold on a blockchain?
I honestly, I think it's not that far out, man. With DeFi and everything, I think we're going to see it pretty soon. To be honest with you,
1 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, before 10 years, after 10 years. What do you think?
Maybe 3 years. I would say 3 years, 2 to 3 years.
3 years. I would say that by 2023, 2024, we're going to have insurance on the blockchain.
Yep. Okay. I'm a firm believer in it because it's like already, like if you look at Charles Hoskinson and his thought process,
it's going to happen quick.
He wants to change the world. Yeah. It's like being able to issue a loan to someone in Nigeria or in Ethiopia without having to go through all the red tape. And that's basically including, because Africa, let's be honest, dude, in the future, Africa is going to be the next powerhouse. China's already kind of, it's hit it.
Yeah, it's undeveloped. It's going to be super modern. It's going to be the futuristic cities. Yeah, Africa's going to be amazing.
India.
Yeah, Africa's going to make the world.
The future hubs.
It's going to laugh at the rest of the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So things like Cardano, they're trying to bring these countries, these continents into the cryptocurrency market because they know that it's going to benefit everyone. So definitely, I think in the not too distant future, we will have insurance on the blockchain pretty soon, man. It's even crypto loans, even you have decentralized finance, but even just at the level of centralized finance, even if you look at BlockFi, they offer interest rates on your stable coins that, dude, it's hilarious because my fiance, Celsius Network, they offer 10.3% stablecoin APY. So that's not even, dude. Okay, let's be honest. That's a CD and it's locked up. These stable coins in Celsius, it's liquid, so you can pull it out any time, and you're paid out every week. So my fiance because she was telling me about a investment. She was like, it's a lockup. It locks you up, and then it gives you 6% APY. I was like, 6% APY?
What a joke!
Are you kidding me? I was like, even centralized financing will give you a better return. I said, all you have to do is convert that to stable coins, put it on Celsius Network, and you'll be earning 10.3 to 10.2. I'm not, we're not shilling Celsius Network. We're not paid or anything. But I'm just saying you can earn 10% APY, even if, and that's what I even told my friend who wanted to get in the cryptocurrency market. I said, hey, even if you're not looking to invest in these cryptocurrencies because you think it's volatile, you could benefit from just buying stablecoin and putting it into DeFi or putting it into CFI or putting into, dude, mutual funds don't even give you a return like that sometimes. And even then you're locked in. You can't just pull out your dollar at any time. So with at least these stablecoin investment, or I guess you could say savings in Celsius, BlockFi, Nexo, you can earn, even 100 times, or 2 times, 3 times the amount that you would earn in your traditional, bank. At your traditional bank and various investments like that.
Easy. Yeah, I can stake Matic for 11%. I got Harmony at 12.1%. And then we're not even talking about liquidity pools. If you were to go ahead and put some value in some of the Viper swap, and you can lock up Viper for the next 8 months.
Yeah, Uniswap.
And there's 475% return. You're just like, what? Yeah. That's insane. What the hell's going on here? This is crazy. So it's the future of fun.
Illegal. You're almost
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get audited. Someone's gonna come and say, that's not right. We're gonna take half your shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was and even, like I said, with BlockFi, if you put your Ethereum there, you can earn, I think, 3 to 4% on your Ethereum and gain more Ethereum. And I would never put it all in one.
Laughs at them.
Yeah, I would always like to spread it out. I mean, because with crypto, you always kind of have to be somewhat cautious. Like hacks and Mount Gox and all these rug pulls. I mean, BitConnect, and so all of that stuff. So you have to kind of be cautious. Of course, like you said, it's the Wild West, man. So we have to do our due diligence and make sure that where we're putting our money is a safe place, and make sure that you don't put it all in one spot.
Right. Exactly right. Yep.
All right, gentlemen. I think this is the end of our video podcast. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure. Dude,
Jeff,
nice
it's great to chat with you, buddy. You're a very enlightened guy. It was a pleasure to share with you.
Very same. Same. So I would love to do another one of these, or even if it wasn't a podcast, I would like to have a conversation with you guys. But I mean, this ends perfectly because I'm about to go out and celebrate. We're gonna go get some teppanyaki,
nice.
and celebrate my passing the board. So
nice,
I'm glad that I can spend some time.
Congratulations.
It is well deserved.
Appreciate it.
Go out there and get some shots, man. Enjoy it.
All right. See you, Jeff.
That's great, brother.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later, man. It was very nice. Awesome conversation.
Thanks, man. All the best.
See ya.
Thank you.
All right, peace.